into the afternoon. It has been nothing but downside since basically the word go this morning. We get GDP, we get PCE out at 8:30 this morning. Ever since that, there's been not much positivity in the overall market after we saw these kind of numbers to the upside yesterday. If you remember, big bounce back day higher yesterday. Here we go, giving it all back and more now for the NASDAQ, back to the downside, 3.78%. In fact, for the NASDAQ, 2.7 there for the S&P, better part of 2% for the Dow on the downside as well. I'm going to grab the sector board here so we can show you the S&P 500. It really hasn't changed much. There are a few individual names popping back up on the positive side in the banking sector, mostly insurance companies. There's also a few in the healthcare equipment group, also down here in the software names as well, in the tech group, DXC to be specific. Back in positive territory, but you can see this is the S&P 500. Every single other sector, every single other group within a sector, all in negative territory. That's CarMax, if you're wondering. KMX down huge, 24% off of an earnings report that missed expectations. Tough to see, I know, but right beside it is Best Buy. We'll talk about some of the other retailers, including BBY, in addition to BBY, coming up here off of earnings. There's Tesla. Tesla's down 7% on the afternoon. GM, not much better, 6% and change to the downside. It's been an ugly afternoon. It's been an ugly session right across the board. And remember, there's only one more left in not only the month, but the quarter. It's been a busy day. So let's jump right into a little bit of a review session here. If you joined us in the pre-market this morning, we provided you with, as we do always, a ton of opportunities to look at heading into the open. Make sure you first, before you do anything, when you get up in the morning, you go to your email and you open the watch list. If you haven't done so, we'll put the link up on screen here coming up. But grab the watch list, then you come join us at 8:30. We get you set for the open every single day for the first hour of the day. One of the opportunities that we were discussing in the pre-market, Neil is going to go over right now with one of his trades.
It's Tesla. It's going to be your trade of the day here, brought to you as always by Day Trade the World. Check that QR code below. Start your trading journey with Day Trade the World. I mean, look, basically anything short would have been good today. And sometimes it is just about that pure, unadulterated MOMO or momentum, as some people like to say it. But we can look at the 15-minute. I do have to register, and we're going to look at what this bottom was, and we'll get to this one certainly. You did have this previous low at the beginning of the week. We wicked down. It was just below 270, and then we had a nice little recovery. We all know how strong things were yesterday, getting to that 290 level. And at open, quite frankly, you know, I was thinking about that resistance. He said that top, if you see that top from yesterday where we like the shorts, thinking that rally shouldn't really continue, you didn't even have a test of 285. And if you've been following the last couple of days, love those $5 ranges for like your scalp ranges in Tesla. That doesn't come into play. You didn't see 290. You didn't even get 285. So all of a sudden the market is clearly headed to the downside. Well, what are you going to do? Little saying I love in baseball, sometimes you just got to go up there and grip it and rip it. And that's what it comes down to, like see your pitch and then go try and hit it. Because it was as simple as 280 being a clean break trade. And when you take a breakout, there's two things I'm looking for. A, momentum. B, a lot of interest in that particular price level. Tesla had both of those at 280. And then I'm always looking for initial scalp and then try to hold some. Now, why I like the initial scalp is because when you're taking a short at the low of the day, there's always the chance that you get one of those false breaks where stops get run, it goes beneath 280. Everyone that was stopped out long, they're now out of position. People are triggered into short. And if it holds that level or reclaims that level, ooh, you've got trap shorts and you've relieved the pressure, less people long that have to offer on the way up, and you can get one of those snaps back to the upside. So always looking to avoid that. When you hit it, I'm always going to get out on that first initial candle. I have a 3-minute up, but that first candle on, say, a 1 minute or even a lower time frame that gets that dollar, snag that, and then it's hold. Now, sometimes you get some consolidation to be able to get back into it, but then I'm holding for the next $5 to the downside. And it goes right into that 75, bounces off it, get out on the way back up, and then I'm just looking for either a retracement, somewhere where we can go into that trade again. I was kind of looking for 77.5, 78, never came to that price. It was right back to the lows, and what are you going to do? Didn't find a pop that I could short that rolled over at a price that I liked. So right back to the wall, grip it and rip it, right back to 275 on the break in the exact same plan. A little bit more aggressive getting out this time on the first initial push. It wasn't quite as quick as what we got that first time where it just slammed and gave you the quick free dollar, but same concept. I'm getting a couple thirds out and then I'm holding for, you guessed it, 270. Now this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. You've now got those two $5 moves to the downside, but you've also got that weekly bottom that's worth playing. And I get it. We had a conversation with a trader out there on the show who was in their shorts and holding on to it, and the trend is pretty clear. Not a lot of reason on a higher time frame to get out. But when you see a bottom like this, I just talked about those false breaks and looking for the long entry or don't get trapped in the short. It bounces off at 270. I'm not long at that price. But when it did this move here, I said if it breaks down, I do not want to be caught short at the bottom at that time of day. It's like 10:30. A lot of times you get consolidations and bounces in the market, whatever direction it's going, retracements if it's been up. I did not want to get trapped long. I allowed it to break that bottom from the earlier in the week, the beginning of the week, and once it reclaimed that level, you have now trapped shorts on that breakdown of the low. Some of those longs have been stopped out that gave it to that level, and it's a clean scalp. Now, I was not nearly convinced of this move. When it couldn't make that second leg up, and I saw a lot of things running. At this time, I remember clearly, Sean was in a meta trade that was way stronger, and Tesla couldn't even seem to get past that 71 to 72 area. I just said, let me get out of Dodge. Tesla's not strong enough. I could have held it for 73s, but I was just happy to A, not have gotten trapped doing the same easy breakdown the third time, but then get a little something out of the long. So end up going 3 for 3 on this, but if it's 2 for 3, that's fine. The moves were there. And really, it just came down to the clean breaks. I mean, in this market, sometimes the breakout or the breakdown is all you need. That's your trade of the day, brought to you by Day Trade of the World.
False stop. Here we go. Yeah, it was a great opportunity. I apologize, Neil. It was a great opportunity for not only Tesla, but some of the other automakers and guys who was on the back of this Porsche move as well. Porsche, as Randy keeps reminding me. Over in... over in Germany today, Porsche IPO debuts. Nice move up, but it comes all the way back to essentially where it started the day. European markets obviously closed. Anyways, that and more on the watch list this morning. Make sure you grab that. As I mentioned, every single day. It's super easy. All you need is your email address. We'll send it to you for free. There's no charge whatsoever. Right to your inbox. There was a couple things I wanted to mention. This, first off, Pepsi. There was some analyst chatter floating around this afternoon that Pepsi is also in cost-saving mode and is set to announce more measures to that effect coming up here fairly shortly. So I was just keeping my eye on Pepsi on that note. Also, Lululemon had a volume spike there, back higher after it came out. They had a lawsuit with Peloton that they've won. So a heads up on Lulu. Anyways, let's talk about a few things we were discussing, as I mentioned, in the pre-market. One of those was Bed Bath & Beyond. Wow. Here we go again to the downside. It's been pretty ugly today for BBBY, guys. No real positives in this earnings report whatsoever.
Not really.
Nah, there isn't. I mean, what's up, guys, everybody? Welcome back. I don't want to say bloodbath. That seems a little bit too negative,
it's about
but
right.
It's about right. Down almost now 3.7% as the NASDAQ continues to bleed, I guess. So yeah, I'm fine to double down on it right there. It's pretty nasty. I'm long Apple, short Microsoft right now. That's never really a recipe for success, but let's see how that pays out. But Bed Bath & Beyond, again, it was on the sticky note today. We talked about that over and over. I don't have a trade. I wasn't able to get into one. I was looking to get in higher here. Are we doing the rundown already or just talk? All right, we'll do the rundown here. So Bed Bath & Beyond, again, we had it up here. I wanted to get a little bit of a pop. And it's funny because why am I waiting for 20 cents? I had it written down here that we wanted 7.20 right there to come into play for Bed Bath & Beyond. And honestly, that's where my offers were. It never went to the upside here today at all. You know, they have $850 million apparently that they can sort of, hold their last leg up on, right? And their last quarter, they lost 366 $0.2 million. So, you know, they only have a few more quarters if they don't turn things around before they literally have no more money left. And when you have no more money left, you can't pay employees, you can't pay suppliers, and guess what you filed for, right? So let's wait to see what happens with Bed Bath & Beyond. But to me, man, you're very close to the pink sheets right now as it is. And I don't know, I think you're minutes away from that. Unfortunately, we had their accountant, you know, we talked about that, you know, had an unfortunate situation there. And it just, there's more under the hood. And unfortunately, Bed Bath & Beyond has just been a negative stock all day. There was an opportunity right when we went off the air at about 11 to get back into the short rate there off of a bump back up. That should have definitely been taken. Obviously, with the markets, you know, cruising the way it is right now, it's tough to look at everything. But that Bed Bath & Beyond rate there at 650 was a good one. And then if you're going to look at a longer time frame, I mean, we've been down here before. So, I mean, for me to say that, you know, they're close to filing Chapter 11 or anything like that, I don't know if that's true, but we've already been down here to 450. I feel like you're just a couple days away from that happening again. And then if you break back down below 450, then I would say, I don't know what the next step is. So for me, if you're going to go long on Bed Bath & Beyond, you just hope that when you wake up, you know, on your next morning, that it is not below this 450, because then I feel like that's a liquidation point for a lot of traders. So just be careful with this. It's now what? There's 2 or 3 green days in the last 12 or so here. So Bed Bath & Beyond in for more hurt. And unfortunately, yeah, Brendan, you have it written up there. Huge miss. I mean, their quarterly numbers were horrible. Retail seems to be a problem. I mean, Amazon's coming down. If Amazon can't make it, Nike's at 52-week lows. And I know Bed Bath & Beyond is different, but Home Depot, Target, Walmart, sort of, you know, all put the retail in a big bunch. Bed Bath & Beyond is not where I'd want to put my money.
If the good, successful retailers aren't going to be successful, I mean, there was nothing, like we said, you can go on and try to find a kernel of positivity. I understand they're trying their turnaround, and none of that will be reflected in the move, but it is what it is, and the proof's in the pudding. I thought, and there's some different varying numbers for the short floats. Obviously, you're going to see like Yahoo Finance has over 100, Morningstar has over 100. You see FinViz, TD Ameritrade, Wall Street Journal, all saying 39. Heavily short interest, and I was right there this morning, ready to accept the fact that, hey, sometimes you get a short squeeze even on terrible earnings because it's already so beaten up. And there was this one level, like I looked at yesterday's close and I said, okay, if we can break out from there, then I like the long in Bed Bath & Beyond because it's not breaking the low, so it can go up. But that move happened. I have my 15-minute up here. That move occurred at like 7:45 in the morning. So unless you had it at that point, all I said in the morning show is, it's this line. If it holds that at the open, that's the new established level. That's a previous close range. If it holds that, there's your chance. If it breaks it, I'm looking the other direction. It was the same way I liked Apple. Right at the open, I liked Apple yesterday, 148 in either direction. It ended up going south, but I missed it. This time, I got one shot in, and I'm trailing it now because it did nothing for most of the morning, giving you like 20 cents. And then when it fell apart, the bid just evaporated. It's continuing to do so. This is a bogus dark pool wick. It actually has not traded above 6 since about 1 o'clock. That's where my trail is going to be. If it gets back in the north of 6 territory, I'll get out of this. But Bed Bath & Beyond, a bit of a disaster there. And like Sean said, I mean, it's definitely a date with $5 is for sure. Like, you know, whether it catches a bid at $5, sometimes it's like a psychological level where people are like, ooh, I'll throw some money at this. It's a shot play, like $1 kind of tends to be sometimes. So maybe it bounces off $5. I think we'll get the privilege of finding out tomorrow or next week.
All right, let's go on to Apple here. We sat here yesterday and talked all about how strong Apple wasn't among the leaders back to the upside for the overall market in that move that we saw into the end of the day. Not the case today, unfortunately. We were hoping we would get some participation with some of the mega cap tech names to try and help boost things up once again today, but not the case. Here's the note from Bank of America today, cutting to neutral, a rare downgrade on Apple shares. 160 from 185. This all follows that note from Bloomberg going back to earlier in the week. At the same time, though, Rosenblatt going from neutral to buy. So both directions as far as analyst moves this morning on Apple shares.
It goes to show, I mean, it's just, you can't really make your decisions based on what the analysts do. But you can't. There's none as a trader because,
sure.
I mean, come on, like you get
there
one
might
up,
be some
one
that
down.
you could trust, like if you've back tested.
That's the thing.
You know.
And I'm not going to sit here and say that I've done that kind of legwork. However, yesterday I liked the 245 breakdown. It lost. I said if I see it again, you got to take it again, because if it's a good trade, if it's a good setup, and the risk reward works, you should just do it. It shouldn't matter what happened the day before. Is it a good setup? Is it a worthwhile trade? Is it a positive expectancy? Just do it, right? And then sometimes you're going to lose. You can see now, don't hold on to it. That's the thing of a breakdown. When I was talking about Tesla, like yesterday, I was short at the bottom on Apple, but believe you me, like I was out of that bad boy in the first 50 pennies. Like it was about a 50 and change, like 56 or 55 cent hit, because I was out of it at that low, and you saw how it ran. When it broke the floor today, there was no end in sight. If there's a mistake that I made, there was a reload opportunity that I was not patient enough with this. And I got into, what happened is I got out of it first of all on a trail at 143. I should have held to 142. But when I got back in on this curl, it was at 143.5. You know, we say don't diddle in the middle. It was barcoding at lunch, and the top was like 144. And I got in the middle. I know it's only 40 or 50 cents, but the problem about getting in at a price that you don't like is I immediately realized, no, I don't really like that price. That's not how I like to get in at that particular time. And I just got out of it and said, okay, you know, let's sit on the offer closer to VWAP and get a better price. It never ended up coming to me, and that's sort of the problem. But I don't really mind that too much. It's not the end of the world. I should have been there when it first got to 144, but I got a price I didn't love. I got away from it, and now you're hitting to fresh lows. I think we might see that 140 even today. And spoiler alert, I think there's going to be some trading opportunities on it. Right, 141, I'm not that interested in trying to defend it or anything like that. I won't be sitting on the bid. 140 is a bit of a different story if we happen to see it.
Yeah, I was just on the bid and it just broke. So we got out of that one pretty quickly, take a 20-cent hit. Look, I mean, I still think it's worth trying to go long, but I mean, the long has not been right here for Apple. That was just a small, we were long at 120. You saw it was 141.22. So definitely a mistake on that one. Look, Apple this morning, I tried the same thing, like Apple down 6%. Honestly, I don't know how many days Apple's ever been down 6%, honestly, in the life of Apple. I mean, you go look it up. I'm not sure how many of those days even exist. But today's one of those days again. So, yeah, down 1% yesterday or so, 1.5, I think maybe at the close, maybe 2. Add another little bit to that, and now you're down 6. So in a flush out move, we did go short early, but, you know, our best cover is 143. Right now, Apple's just booked 141. So we tried the long a couple times, didn't work. There we got in and out. That was easy. But this last one was a 40, then a 16, giving us the average price of 22. And there it goes, breaking back down to the downside. So, you know, if you never thought that we would see this bottom of Apple again, you're getting pretty close. I feel like if you're not in Apple, or you feel like the flush, this could be the flush day. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising to me again if we get a rally day tomorrow, just because of the move that's been happening here. But I mean, right now, Apple, like Neil said, I wouldn't be surprised if this continues the rest of the day. Now that it's cracked, the market has no problem going down. So that's that. Like, that's a wrap, basically. I mean, if Apple's going to go, we talked about Amazon and Apple. I mean, I've been talking about shorting Amazon since 140, and you guys know that. So, I mean, now that Amazon's all the way down here to 113, I pat myself on the back, but really, all I've been doing is trading it here on the show. My long-term account is bleeding as we hold some of these names, but yeah, Apple leading the way down. Apple and Amazon were the next ones to go. Google, Microsoft. I'm short Microsoft right now, 80 cents in the money. So that's good. But, you know, Google's already well sub its 52-week low. Every tick down is a new 52-week low for Google. So, yeah, Apple's just the next name to drop, and it's dropping today. It's dropping like it's hot, Brendan.
All right, definitely. A lot of things pretty hot today, unfortunately. 7% here for Tesla at this point. I mean, it tried. Let's put it that way. It was right around here, I think it was, where we got that buy volume that came in. On this note, CNBC was the first to have this, it would appear anyways. New York expediting efforts to ban the sale of fossil fuel cars, I saw written by another analyst, by 2035. So going California route in only going to sell EVs by 2035.
Well, we've seen a lot of these aggressive notes out there, and you know, I don't think that really moves the needle. Wow, it moves the needle anymore. I'm saying wow on Tesla because think of it this way: Tesla just broke pre-split 800. right? Like 266 and then sixes repeating. I mean, we can all understand that math. But 800 wasn't an insignificant level. Like you go back, and sometimes the charts being not split adjusted isn't the end of the world because it's easy math. But you had resistance, you broke out from there. We never got to that 1,000 mark, and we just took it out to the downside. Look, it's like 7.5%. The thing about Tesla is I get it, they're the best, and certainly there's no question what the best EV company is out there in terms of being able to actually produce something. But the truth is they've always been expensive, and in this environment, when it starts falling, there's just not much of a bid because there's that understanding that, hey, it trades at a very expensive multiple and always has, and it's susceptible to these kind of runs. The same way you don't want to stand in front of it when it's rallying, you don't want to be on the bid when it's falling like an absolute rock here. Now, if it can get some pops to short, I think I'd look at that previous bottom that we're talking about, like that 69.5, 270 area. Maybe that turns into a bit of resistance here. It would not be crazy if it sees SSR, Tesla, that's 10% to the downside. I think I'm going to try to go long because that's typically been a level at which big cap names tend to try to bounce. So if I see that, that's... we closed at about 288, so look, it's extreme. You're talking 260 there, even. That's another $6. I was about to say there's almost no chance it goes there, but we've had that discussion yesterday about Apple 150, so I'm not going to say it. I'll just be ready if 260 happens. That's close to SSR. That's where I would look for almost a for sure bounce as a day trader.
So, Brendo, I just saw that note you put up there about Meta announcing a hiring freeze and warning of employees of restructuring and so on and so forth. I actually have been trying the long. I actually had an amazing Meta long here at that bottom, where we are just right now. So, I don't know, when I hear stuff like that, hiring freeze, if you could put that note back up. I don't know if that's gone now forever, but
yeah, I missed
I thought it was pretty cool. We have that ability to throw it up there, and that's how I saw it. So anyways, Meta now maybe just wicked. It's too bad because I was listening to what you were saying. I was getting lined up with some thoughts and everything, and then I saw that Meta note, and then I also went over here and noticed that Meta just bounced off the bottom clean right there off the bottom. So yeah, I don't know. To me, when you're announcing a hiring freeze and then warning of employees of possible restructuring, I know Sharif mentioned this on the first show, on the midday show as well. I don't know if necessarily that's a bad thing or not. There it is right there. So sometimes if you are restructuring, I mean, maybe it's something to do with their Meta department. I think any cost savings there, probably a good move for them. So I don't want to say ultimate bearish news on this one because, again, you're looking for them to cut some of the slack out, right? And trim down. But it sucks whenever people, it's just it's a hiring freeze. I was going to say it sucks for people to lose their jobs, but that's not what's happening. They're just freezing on hiring. That makes sense for me. I think until costs get under control, that's probably a good move for Meta. I'm really sad, quite frankly, and it's just that I didn't see that bottom. I've been trying to pick some bottoms out recently, and that might be a decent one there for Meta. But here it comes, pulling back in again as the futures don't seem to really like that story or care enough about it anyways, and we just keep on bouncing, man. So now you're going to be down 4%. The trigger is 7 before we get limit down and all chaos breaks loose. So I don't think we're going to get limit down today, but you're down 4% right now. Could we go down 3 more percent in an hour and a half? I mean, scratch that hour and a half part.
It's only an hour.
It can't go after 3:30 or
3:25. I had to look it up again.
Oh, you looked it up. Okay.
Yeah, like 5 minutes ago I looked it because someone, I think it was Dan in the chat, was asking about it, and I said, let me go check. It's 3:25, so it has to get 7% by 3:25.
But yeah, it was more the end of that note that was a little more concerning. Maybe the restructuring, warning of restructuring possibilities for Meta that seemed a little bit different anyways than what we've heard from them in the past. Here comes Micron is on deck. Yeah, coming after 4 o'clock, as we saw from Sharif there, if you missed it during the midday show. 410, I believe it was, for MU guys at day lows along with the overall market here.
The weird thing about Micron is I went long Micron off these lows this morning because it was a double bottom from yesterday, and one of the few things that wasn't making a fresh low at the time. I scalped most of it out in front of 49.60, like it was only about 30 cents, and then got some at the high, and then proceeded to jump into the short in front of 50. I stopped out there and never went back to it. I said, yeah, whatever, I'll go to Intel, which I did, and position board just left us again. So not to take it. It keeps on going away. I'm not sure what's up with that. But either way, like I went over to Intel. I could have just come right back into Micron. I will not be sitting on this bid this afternoon. I think if I take a shot at sort of those bouncing longs, I know Apple 140 and I know Tesla. I mean, Tesla 260 seems like a pipe dream, but those are two levels that for sure I want to take a shot at being on the bid in front of with tight stops. Like if it breaks even, I'm definitely out of those trades. Micron will not be one of them. Look, I hope that they have a good report. I'm never betting against it. However, they've set the bar pretty low, so it's not the end of the world. Like the bar is pretty low, so they could actually beat. If it is very bad and the margins are out of control, then you could see an already depressed sector get even worse. I tend to think it's hard for them to completely miss given where things have gone. I went over to Intel because it was a lot weaker, and I'm sitting short this as it just continues to flush. I'll be out at 26 even because this all started at 27, and Intel moves every 50 cents at a time.
Chip names. So again, AMD. All we did is just sad today because all we did was go long, but we went short early on that name once the market opened up. I mean, we were short this name, believe it or not. And honestly, like I say, believe it or not, but I actually don't believe it. Like I cannot believe how aggressive to the downside all of these semis are, like every day. Like it's unbelievable the moves that are happening right there. So there's my hero trade off the morning, short 67. Like, I mean, no hero here. We'd still be short, but all the way to the downside. And then we just threw away some money trying to catch the longs. There's no long here. I'm not even going to open up a chart to show that there's nothing to show you on AMD. There's nothing to show you on any of these semis, man. You just you play the momentum that's there intraday, and honestly, I'm not sure there's any bounce levels here at all. I don't want to go long this name. I wish there was a bottom. I can't find it. I've been trying. I tried everywhere. It just kept breaking. I mean, you're not going to be a success when you're going long on NASDAQ names, especially a semi name. The only chart I could show you would be basically this, and just the destruction that if you just take this back a month and a half, you're at $105. You're now at $63. Like that's 40 off of 100. That's down 40%. Checks math, somewhat right. Down 40% there in a month and a half, almost 2 months for Meta. So it's pretty nasty, or probably for Meta as well, but I meant for AMD, and a big chunk of that is today alone. So, I mean, you just go the last couple of days, it's been pretty nasty. CPI came, crushed this stock, and the rest is basically history, man. I don't know where to buy this name. I told Prad, he sent a message there today wondering about where to buy AMD, and I just said like now, because if you're going to put some money to work here, you might as well get something in, and then if it just keeps on dropping and you like the name, there's at some point this market's going to turn around. I just don't see it when it's going to happen. So if you want to start buying some positions now for a longer term, I kind of feel like it's decent advice being down 8% to start dipping into a little bit now. So I like it. I think it's been down a lot. It's been beat down. And like what Andrew Rader said yesterday, there is going to be a time where some of these names want to come back in, right? So maybe that's one of that here. And I like it for AMD.
Speaking of aggressive, maybe the most aggressive of them all today, well, let's start with this, actually. Here was a headline from the pre-market when it comes to Peloton. I'll show you the chart in a second here, but I said at the time, maybe a last-ditch effort here for Peloton. They're going to sell their bikes, treadmills, and other goods at Dick's Sporting Goods. Fast forward a few hours. Here we are down 15.9% on the day at all-time lows, guys, for Peloton.
Well, I got something I need to hit for this. And I'm not slapping a fail on Peloton. I mean, look, it's down 16%. But we can't show you like all these, like Apple 145, and we take the Tesla trades, and we talk about key levels all the damn time, right? That's more or less all we talk about is key levels. And then I'm sitting here staring at $8 on Peloton, which is a multi-day floor. It does, look at the setup. It breaks on news, it breaks out the high, fails a high break. Okay, what's favorite setup? Pop and fade. And then depressed name in a weak market takes out an $8 level. Look at the move to the downside. Like at what point was this ever wrong for you? Or were you even remotely afraid of what was going to happen next? It's just, like, I don't know, man. Like this is, if you're a trader, this is essentially why you come in every single day. Like there's lots of opportunities out there, but this is why you're here, because That's as easy as it gets. You're not, like, it could have halted to the downside and then opened up the next dollar down. Here you had to actually watch a few 3-minute candles in a row, but that's going to be as easy as it gets. And it really never stopped. It's now beneath $7. It's the cleanest, like, 10% trade you're ever, not ever, but like one of the easiest you're ever going to see. And it was all, like, we had the news. We were looking at it in the pre-market, at least I know I was, and for whatever reason, just did not put 2 and 2 together and hit the bloody keys. There were lots of shorts to be had. I'm not complaining about the fact that you're not going to catch everything. It's not about complaining about the fact you missed a big opportunity, but this one was a layup. $8 clean break. I wish I had Peloton. I wish I had a firm. I wish I had a lot of things to the short side today because that's the kind of day it's been. But this one, I mean, come on.
Do you wish you were a little bit taller?
And a baller.
Potentially a baller?
Yeah, I wish I had a girl that. Well, I have a girl that's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a girl that I could call her. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody calls anybody anymore, man.
No, I call my wife, but I don't call too many people otherwise. Even on our, like, when's the last time? Well, we speak to our friends, but even for fantasy football, it's like WhatsApp. Like, yo, send me Trey Lance, and then he can get hurt in the very first play. That'd be awesome for that. So I wish we didn't have that conversation.
How's no, I'm not gonna.
Montgomery, I think Montgomery, I think is fine because he's day to day.
Oh, that's not bad.
So that's fine, but he did cost me last week because, again, he got hurt after 1.1 points, and he was the start of the week on many people's screens, and then Khalil Herbert went off for 36 or something like that, or just would have been Montgomery, maybe not. Okay, just real quickly here on a couple plays because we're talking, Peloton, whatever. We can scrap the board now because Neil just did Peloton. I agree with everything on there. I mean, I've already said it that once they released that rowing machine, it was just another reason for people to hate on it. Look, I like Peloton. I think that they're going to get bought out by Apple, and I think they're going to get bought out by Apple pretty soon. So we'll wait to see what happens from Peloton moving forward. Now, Lululemon won a patent lawsuit. Lululemon could buy Peloton now as well. Nike could buy Peloton. Nike has reporting tonight. Wouldn't be surprised if they come out and say something. I'm not long Peloton. I mean, I'm long from a long, long time ago, a small amount of shares. But I wouldn't buy the name for a buyout, but I think that's the only, salvageable entity is the fact that they're a subscription model. So, and Apple wants that. They bring them into their ecosystem. I think it could work. So we'll leave it at that. We'll see if that can come to fruition. All right, so we finally got a little wise on this and decided to go short. So right now, let's take, like we always got to pay ourselves a little bit. We'll take out something on Meta here down at 136. It's not the low of the day, but the low of the day is about $1 lower from where we are. We are now short at 136.50. And again, bumped up. It bumped up. So there it is. The market went for a little jog. We sat there, took the short. I'm going to be short against this 137. This is that bottom, 137. It broke it. It's never looked back. Again, instead of me defending the long right when we came on the air here, should have gone the other damn way, man, and just broke that long. Then we would have had a $2 winner, and we'd be much... I'm in a great mood, to be honest with you, but would be in a much better mood if we had that $2 short. But there it is, right there. Let's go. There's a little bit of a win there for us on that Meta trade. And we do have Microsoft still 50 cents in the money. This was a good short that we just put on as well, breaking right there back into this level. I felt like I wanted to start the position here against 236, which is why, again, we take the profit when it comes down to, at that point, the afternoon low of 235. Then look at that out, man, 234.60 we got out there as we were doing the rundown. So now we only have that's 20, 40, 60, 80. So that's out of 20% down there. Let's see if we retest those lows. But this is what Microsoft looks like today, man. Puke City as well. The benefit of Microsoft, which makes me a little bit nervous, is the fact that it's only down 2.5%, while the market is down 3.74%. It's Mr. Wickens.
This Twitter story just got a little more spicy, guys. Some volume coming in right now to Twitter. It was higher, actually. It's coming back to the downside. So both sides are doing what's called, I guess, discovery right now in legal terms, where they kind of go over subpoenas and data and collected papers from both sides. But apparently text messages have revealed that Sam Bankman-Fried, through a text message, showed some interest towards Twitter. So Sam Bankman-Fried is FTX's CEO. So FTX I don't know. I'm just reading some rumors, guys, that are coming across online. But yeah, apparently text messages revealing that Sam Bankman-Fried could show some interest in Twitter.
I'm not even sure what to make of
Text
that.
messages, eh? I mean, what is this, like Magnum PI? Like, what exactly are we doing here? Like, now we're not even getting like official releases. It's like, oh, here's Sam Bankman-Fried's phone. Oh, here's a text message that I don't know, man. Some of these stories I feel like are leaked maybe from Twitter or from, I don't know where that comes out from. I'm going to wait. I mean, look, I want to get SBF back on the show. I want to ask him, for his cell phone number. I'll start texting him back and forth about a couple things as well. And then, I don't know, we don't even have Twitter up. Let me just quickly look here. I was going to look at Neil's screen.
It was barely moved. That's the thing.
Yeah, let's just
It did a bit of a move and then sort of
it?
came back there.
Yeah, okay. I mean, on a 1 minute chart, if you want to come over here,
Where's
Lucas.
the volume?
I mean, there's no volume here behind that. This was a relatively new story, Brendo.
Like 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah. So no real volume there. It is a nice little spike up, but again, like, why would you be interested in something that's being decided in the courts? Like, it doesn't make much sense. I mean, Neil, hey, I'm interested in Patrick Mahomes. How you like that right now? So I don't really know if there's any sort of truth to that. I could be interested in Josh Allen. I don't know if I can acquire. So that's the point.
Which of your kids do you like the most?
Right, I actually traded you. So crazy. It's actually not turning out to be as bad because right now it sucks to have done it, but at least I got Najee and CEH, who's finally having a decent.
Gia and like a third round pick.
Oh
maybe?
man, yeah, my kids. You can have both my kids for Josh Allen. That's not a problem at all. But the wife wants to have more anyways. So, but that's not happening. So, all right.
We're just joking.
Twitter.
Obviously.
Yeah. Obviously, we're not peddling our kids for fantasy football.
We never do. Come on.
Okay. Yeah, so let's move on that one. I don't, honestly, man, I don't think Twitter has too much excitement for me right now. I'd rather just trade it once it comes through and some real news happens. I like the name. It's a great name to trade because it's pretty volatile. This was before pre-Elon. And right now, this is what it looks like on a daily. You've been really rewarded just for holding on to Twitter because imagine, like I say this all the time, if there was no Elon Musk and there was no law, the lawsuit is Twitter's biggest asset. And I've been saying that since the jump, man, because imagine where Twitter would be had they not have this potential bid involved with Elon Musk. I mean, you have Google taking down the lows, Apple taking down its 52-week low, Meta just getting destroyed, Pinterest destroyed, like all these names that are considered, in the social media realm. It's hard to compare something to Twitter, like DWAC's not there yet, obviously. So, but I mean, where would this name be realistically had there been no bid? I mean, I think it'd be definitely sub this 32 number, and I don't even want to look back to see where this name would be. It was a disaster during the run up in tech names. A stock like Nvidia, AMD, Apple, Google, all those names went up hundreds of percentage points, and Twitter was basically flat for the last 15 years. So for me, staying away from Twitter, and I hope that helps a little bit. But the market right now is saying bouncing quite a lot. Let's find out some more areas to get involved with this, because do we want to keep the short or is that it? So there it is. We did take another Meta short right there against 137. So let's see, man. That again, I was just sitting there for Meta. So we take it in, comes out. If we break through 137, let's see what Meta has in store for me.
Yeah, I'm looking 142 on Apple. That's getting pretty close to get a short in there. Indo here, getting a bit of it looks like a CNBC bump. Quite frankly, that's they were chatted about there. It bounced through $7. Yeah, the daily. I got to zoom in for the daily for you guys a little bit. So bounced through $7. Nothing really significant. It's already broken the 50 period. It's got room to 8 if you're thinking about those bag holding type levels. So 7, 8, one of these two failures. I got to pay for locates because I don't really have them, so I wasn't really looking at it. CNBC bumps, I usually like to fade them, so I will take a shot on that. We get to 142. I do want Tesla. I'm hanging on to the shorts. I'm not giving it up yet. It's like yesterday, man.
Don't do it.
Just go only with the direction of the market at this point. So every bounce, let's look for some fades to get into. But I got to get those locates for Indo, INDO.
All right, I like that one. I like that one better. There it is right now. What a trade for Meta, man. We just sat there. I'm actually already out of 40% of what I had there for Meta. You know, we got that gift, man. It came right up there, put us into a position, which is a full position for me on Meta. And now we are in the money on that trade, 35 cents. So, you know, you do the math on that. I'll take it all day, every day on that one. So there it is, another piece out. And now we'll hold just over half of what's left here for Meta. Still, the out's going to be 137, but as the market is taking the 50 period right now, I'm not in love with any of the longs. Any of the shorts. As you guys know, we'll take out another piece there as it breaks above 50. Now I'm pretty comfortable. Let's hold the rest. I mean, if we do get that flush that we were expecting, then we should be able to do some damage here on this trade. So hopefully Meta does flush back down. We did have that report again of restructuring, of hiring freezes. We've seen what that can do to stocks. It sent stocks like Microsoft to the downside. It sent stocks like Shopify down. Even Google reported that, I think, last month. Pretty much all the tech names have reported at least a hiring freeze or something. We had Lyft yesterday, of course, although Lyft went the other way. There's another out for me on Meta, as it is hopefully going to collapse down. And we're making, I mean, whatever, the amount of money is irrelevant. It's just, this is a nice little move back down to the downside here. We've seen Lyft make that same call. So I don't think this is the reason to be short. The reason to be short is the NASDAQ's down 3.7%. So let's just watch out for this. Hopefully we have this now on Meta. We just got another fill there in the 30s. I'm now waiting in the 20s. I'm trying to piece this thing out. And you know, my bid is at a jump man level, if you understand where that is. So that's where my bid is right now on Meta. Let's see if we get that fill, and then we'll go down to 136 flat, see if we can get that fill again. And then if we're really lucky, the market will just tank the rest of the afternoon, and you'll be hearing more references from me because we're going to be in a good mood if that does happen. Microsoft, though, maybe that's the name that's a little aggressive. That just, ooh, I ripped all the way up there as well. Let's watch out for this. We still have 20% of this position left. I have to find an out here because Microsoft seems aggressive there.
Yeah, Softy's one that I kind of forgot about that one today. I'm not going to lie. There was a lot to be looking at. I got into Indo. It wicked that top. The second it was a wick off top, or wick top, I should say. I jumped right back in. Better price. Same concept. Play out to VWAP. If it's a setup, I'm going to take it. I'm also trying to browse that article. Maybe I'll read it later, that Sam Bankman-Fried thing, because Brendan sent it, and I was very curious, like the exact nature of it. It just, none of it makes a lot of sense to me. That's why I'm very curious about it. But Indo, one of the reasons why I don't want to take a third swing at this if it breaks is because I think the better level is going to be up at $8. So I'll save the third and probably final bullet for that level. I mentioned Tesla 260. Now, obviously, the market's not come down quite that far just yet. But let's not forget where we are right now corresponds essentially with the 800 level. I think that's a pretty significant one. I think that's why you're not really, you're kind of going, these wicks are ugly. You're kind of going sideways here. So I was looking for that 269, 270. I'm not sure we see it. There is going to be the chance that we just take out this low, and really breaking this bottom is like the 800 support being broken. So I have to respect that for a potential breakdown. It's not an even dollar, but in some regards it kind of is. And then one from the viewers, thank you guys, best community ever, $10 on Snapchat. Pretty much right here, right now. That's the current low of the day on Snap. It has bounced off it several times. I'm not going to count up these on the 3-minute. It's probably like 4 or 5 times. Exactly 10 is the low. You can pretty much guess I'll be on 01s, and then I'll be reversing when it breaks 10 even.
Uh-oh, jump man, jump man, jump man. And the fill happens. Those Air Jordans just got filled up there at 136.23 there. We've got the Jordans on right now. And there it is, down to the downside. Let's go. Let's see if we can make a bigger move here downside right now. Shout out to my friends at SneakerCon as well. That was a real fun time. You guys should check those guys out if you get a chance. That was really a lot of fun, actually. And that one, remember you guys, we were on the show here. I'll show it to you. Actually, I have to go to tradertv.live. We actually had a great, follow us all on Instagram, by the way. We have a couple fun things here, a couple fun reels. Some of Neil's raps are on there. Some fun times. This is a fun one with Raider Trader when we dropped Prad's beat through there. But this was a great one. Over almost 100,000 views right here for Louis Vuitton shoe with Nike. And it's just funny because Nike, I mean, well spotted. I mean, Nike earnings today. We'll see what's happening with Nike and their overflow of inventory. I feel like Nike's going to miss today. I don't really know why I feel like that. Just that it's down so much here. It's been clobbered over the last little while. They just took down the 52-week low for themselves. I mean, even Nike just 2 weeks ago was at 110, right? So you've dumped down 15% there in a week and a half. Not great expectations for Nike today, breaking below the 52-week period, 52-week low, and making a new one here today. So, if the consumer's weak, you're going to find out tonight when Nike reports. Because, hey, man, I mean, I like to buy Nikes. I don't really care what the economy's doing. But if you don't have any cash left, then you're definitely not affording $300, $400, $500 pair of shoes or anything like that. So I'm a little nervous, obviously, about that Nike report tonight. So let's just see where it goes. But it's been pretty ugly to that downside, let alone supply chain issues or anything like that they may come with. It's going to be fun for sure tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be free fall Friday, because what the hell's today then? So we're going to see.
That's a problem.
Hopefully we can all regroup, and tomorrow will be a better day, and Nike could save the day. I don't feel like they're going to come out, especially with the U.S. dollar strength. I mean, come on, that's going to hurt somebody like Nike huge. So I don't know, guys. I'm a little bit nervous about that for tomorrow as well. Like, Amazon could get hammered. The whole retail sector could get pummeled tomorrow. So we'll see. Nike holds a lot of that key.
Yeah, it's the fact that we're down so much today. I kind of feel like you're not going to see a day that's as big to the downside tomorrow. It feels unlikely. Someone pointing out in the chat, and I missed the name because it kind of flew by. It was Bo Hall, Tesla AI Day. So tomorrow. Maybe it gives it a little bit of a catalyst. They're going to talk about their robot thingy. I forget the name of it. You guys tell me what the name is. I do forget what it is. Maybe you're going to get a catalyst. Maybe they're building that. Tesla's doing that.
Cybertruck.
No, the robot, man. They have this robot.
Are they doing a robot?
So you might get an update on that. There's the Cybertruck, I know, is a big deal. So you should get some kind of a catalyst. Although I feel like, look, when the market's trending like this, you got to just go with the flow. I don't want to care too much about what the news catalyst might be. Like, Peloton opened the day with a positive story. Did that even matter when it broke $8? It really didn't. All we cared about is that the beat up stocks, when the market reversed and that euphoria from yesterday, when that went away, anything that was weak or overpriced and not making money was an easy short. And it didn't matter what the catalyst was. So in that vein, there goes Indo. See, this is the thing. Like, I always have this.
Smoke you?
Yeah, well, he kind of did. But like the annoying thing about this, it's probably a good out because now you're up at like 750. So I'm not going to complain about the fact that Indo's going to get taken out a couple of times. I almost always automatically short like those CNBC type pops, but sometimes they go. And remember, this is an energy play. Like, it usually is very strong relative to any bounces in energy. Unless you're getting a big run in oil, I usually don't like the long. But hey, Indo's making a move here. I got to respect it. If it gets to $8, that's what I would wait for another swing. That being said, I'm waiting for Apple. I don't want to get too impatient with Apple, but I'm not getting this 142 that I want. It's not happening, and I'm not getting any bumps in Tesla to join the party to the downside. So I'm kind of holding on to the two names that we have. You can see it. When you break a floor like 145, I'm not really looking for any longs, but we're not getting the pops. At least I'm not getting the pops to be able to get into this one, unfortunately. Even Snapchat. Did I just get complaining about Snapchat, and why did I just get into Indo long when I just told you I don't want the long? I'm out flat. Snapchat, I can't even catch the bid at $10. So it's kind of hanging around down here. I am on the bid passively. That just means I'm waiting for someone to sell to 2s and 1s for me to get into it, and then we'll try to scalp it. I think if it goes back to 10.10, that's perfectly good. Going to risk a couple of pennies. I'm going to try and make 5 to 15, like in that range. That's where I want to get out. I want to start getting out at like 5 and then all the way up to 15. If it goes to 20, great. Maybe you hold on to 10% for that. I'd be surprised if we even went that far. But as long as 10's on the bid, I'm going to take the shot here in Snapchat. Someone asked about Roblox. It might seem like a random level, 35.40 here on Roblox, but when you zoom out, you will see, like if you go back to Monday, this was a breakout at that same price, ended up closing here. It's been support ever since. So Roblox is kind of teetering on a pretty significant level. I like this for a breakdown as well. Maybe not as obvious as Snapchat, but hey, if we want to join the trend, sometimes you got to hit these lows. Roblox is in that bucket as well. of a company that in this environment is going to run into some trouble. So I finally got into Snapchat. I'll add it once. I'll get out when 10 breaks.
Yep, like it. I did get a little impatient. I don't have any more bids here. I have one bid on Meta down here at 135.70, right into there. I did get a little impatient with it. Unfortunately, I should not have. I got some out at 30 right there, which is only 13 cents ago, but I did get it out. So now I feel that, you know, the market is heading back down to the lows. I mean, here's the NASDAQ. It looks like it wants to continue to go. We're down below the 50 period again. But this could just be a hovering moment for the market. Like, it doesn't really know what it wants to do. This is a pretty big move to the downside. It's only 250 right now, so the market still does have a ways to go, especially if you're looking at the downside. The NASDAQ is at 11,128 right now. I was actually looking at that bottom there. That's close to that June bottom, 11,091. I think it was 11,067 or something like that for that 52-week bottom in the NASDAQ. I'll try to figure that out, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So we almost got to that, and then we bounced off about 70 or so points off that low before now retracing again. And whenever you're there, I just think like you're going to test it again. So it's been a pretty, you know, not many bumps. I was trying to find like a level to say like what was supported. Maybe here 11, but that's so random. 11,160. Nah, that's nothing. But again, nice little move to the downside. Let's wait to see what it does at 11,100. I mean, that's coming out pretty fast, man. Only 20 points from here. But there goes Meta. I mean, down to 136 now. Honestly, man, I know I'm waiting lower. I'm just gonna put something on the bid at 02. Did I get filled there? I did not. So hopefully it has to run through me, man. I'm not going to be able to sit there and then just grab it when it's doing this. Somebody has to market it down to see. I'm not even there. Well, I got a little bit. Oh, okay, there we go. As it marches down, I was trying to cancel it actually because I only got part filled. But there it is, another move to the downside here for Meta, giving us 90 cents now in the money. We put this trade on right live for you, so we'll floss it off. Hopefully some of you have that Meta trade. And again, thanks for all the nice comments at Trader TV, Sean, Instagram, all of us, man. Neil, Brendan, myself, we're all over the place. Find us on socials or just message us here in the chat. But there it is, man, another move to the damn downside right now. 90 cents in the money Meta, 70 cents in the money on Microsoft. Let's find something else. Amazon maybe, AMD just broke 63. I don't know if that's the first time today. No, it happened over here. Like I said, I've left AMD alone. I keep thinking to catch bids on this, but you know, when there's no bids to be found, holy Meta right now is just collapsing, Neil. The market is...
We're coming to, we're breaking
every
down
name,
again.
Pick your poison.
Every name. I mean, NVIDIA's not at the low just yet. Tesla is basically at that 266. I know I said I will, and I will be if it gets to 260, but that 266, it's like, it's 798, but it's really the 800 level, I think, that's holding up right now. So it's not an even dollar, but in my head, I think this is going to be sort of worth it to play it in the same vein that I would like an even dollar breakdown. It's like a triple bottom or double bottom, depending on how you want to look at it. If it breaks, I'll take that. Roblox, I like the 40 if it breaks. I'm looking for breakdowns or like we short some pops. We're not getting them. But 141 just went in Apple, which means you know what the next level down is. That's going to be that 140 bid. I will be on that bid, and I mean, I'm already in Snapchat. That bid, Snapchat, if that breaks, fair enough. And then Tesla 260, which seems like it's a little bit unlikely, but I'm not writing anything off at this point. So I have my bids in on Apple if it gets down there. But the Tesla 266 break, we're 20 cents away. This is where my attention is going to be because the quick in and out in the first initial flush and then try to hold it through. As the market, 4% about to get hit in, I don't want to count it down or anything, but in seconds.
Remember you were saying to me earlier that this price on Tesla's like 800,
yeah,
right?
That's the thing.
You divide it by 3, and that's where that is. So people were talking to me on chat about like, why did I get out of Tesla? Like I got out of Tesla at 928, you guys remember? So a little bit of a higher spot there. So I have been getting out of some of my tech plays, and I've been telling you guys about that throughout, but I'm still holding on to pretty much everything. We got out of some Netflix, and that's been wrong, so there you go. Talk about your winners, talk about your losers, no problem. But yeah, it's been a big loser trade here today for anybody that's been looking to go long. It's been a hard avenue to find some of those trades. I'm just going to bid out right now, sit on the bid again here because I mean, I was waiting for 135.70, honestly. I mean, the way this market's moving, I wouldn't be surprised if Meta popped $1, and I wouldn't be surprised if it just tanked $1. So I don't really have a preference on where I'm getting out. I'm not going to start to nitpick. And there it is again. I mean, we'll just do that. It's Christmas all over the place if you're a short seller today. But there, especially if you used yesterday. Remember yesterday at this time, I was like, yeah, buddy, the longs are here. And by the way, you know, we turned this guy around early. The market was only down 1.5% or something like that early on. There it is. Maybe I have to turn them around now to get the market going back up, but I'm short, so why would I do that? But the point of what I'm getting at here is like, at some point, shorts are going to have to cover, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we did get a little bit of a late day rally, and it's just the fact that it's using, again, our own, like, not professionalism, but we've seen this before, and so have you guys out there and all of you traders. There has to be some covering at some point. Now, whether or not that covering comes in at 3, whether or not it comes in at all.
It could come tomorrow.
It could come at any time. I just feel like if you're an options player or something like that, end of quarters, all tomorrow, it's on a Friday, do you bother when you open up your account right now and you see your shorts or your puts in the money like 9,000%. Maybe you just cover right now, or you really got that feels and you think tomorrow's going to be an absolute disaster. So, of course, as I say that, the market blasts back up a little bit.
The Tesla long, the 266, it went to 266.01. If I had just jumped in front of that bid, like that would have been an easy scalp trade. But you know, I'm not really looking for the long on Tesla, not here anyway. So I'm going to sit like in kind of like not like breathe a relief. There's no sigh of relief here because it's almost like 50 cents away. Like it's going to hit that level. We didn't come all this way not to take that level out. I think that's like Luca loved to say that, and it's kind of true. Like you gravitate towards a price enough times, you're going to break said price. Eventually, it's going to happen, but I don't want to dwell on it too much. The strongest name of the bunch yesterday was Netflix. Even that has not held up today. It's got a triple bottom. I think it's headed down probably. If we do get a capitulation day tomorrow, I think you could see that 225. I don't really see anything too shocking about the levels that it's putting in. If it were to rally, I think it struggles at 240. I just can't see it getting back above that resistance. If there's any kind of a bounce today, I would look for that fade. But incoming still for me is going to be Tesla. Snapchat's holding. Someone asked in the chat, I think it was Super SPAC Man, am I reversing Snapchat? 100% yes. If it breaks 10, I want to get out. I want to get short. Ideally 99s, but sometimes you get like 98s. I wouldn't expect anything worse than that, however. So I am going to be reversing there. Roblox hasn't broken down. Peloton, I'm not even sure there's a price you can get that I would really like. It's down so far. And then another that I probably could have gone to today when this does load up, Affirm has bounced. Look, it's 10% to the downside. Didn't quite bounce off SSR. But I think that's going to be like a limited kind of relief for Affirm here. This is now below its last support. You can sort of see it's not at the June lows. It's still got $2 to go. But beneath this 19, you can kind of see you are breaking some floodgates. So tomorrow, I didn't trade it today, but Affirm is beneath 19 bucks. I'm shorting it to 19. I doubt we get the pop today to be able to take this trade. But I love when these floors break on weak stocks. That's when you want to get in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to look for another short to get in for you guys. It's just everything is so far down. Even a name like DraftKings is 15 bucks. A name that I always look at again, and I'm sorry about looking at the same names all the time. If there is something you guys want me to look at, put it in there. Yeah, the stocks are completely failing. So every single name is going to look similar to this, man. I mean, you just had a pretty recent bump up there, and then the fade back down. Let me check out Carnival Cruise Lines. I know that's a name without looking at the chat, and I'll look there in a second. Carnival is a name that I know a lot of you are trading as well, so we'll have a quick look at that. Down to 9 bucks. Ooh, a nice little barcoding here on Carnival. Rate barcoding at 9. That's kind of strange that we're seeing this now, but there it is right there. Apple procurement chief to leave after crude remarks in video. I don't know what that is, but all right, 22-year veteran of Apple, I guess being forced to leave, caught saying something he shouldn't. Welcome to the 2000s, my friend. You can't do anything without being under a microscope, especially if you're an executive at Apple. Right now. But if you're Sam Bankman-Fried, you might want to get better technology there to protect some of those texts maybe. We'll get more on that story. 90 again for PayPal. stupid that like we talk about some of these key levels. When they come through, you have to hit them. And again, you can't look at enough stocks and say thank you to our wonderful viewership and all you traders out there. But that level of 90 for PayPal has been key a bunch of times. And I just turned it over because I know this is a name that we like to look at. That name right there. Here's 90. It held, broke, went down to 83, went back up there yesterday on a monster day for PayPal yesterday, man. Like that bottom was 84 up to 90 yesterday. So $6 on 80, a big day, 7-8% there for PayPal yesterday, giving half of it back today. I'm still looking at that 90 area. So that could be something to get faded back if that does happen. Before I go to Brendan, man, we just put this meta trade on for you. Literally, what time is it? 20 minutes ago. It's now $1.20 in the money on the downside. Man, to have held it all would have been the right play, but I didn't. What's up, Brendan?
There was a pop there, guys, on Disney shares. Here's why. They just came out and said that starting tomorrow, they're going to have a phased approach to reopening theme parks throughout the Florida stretch. If you remember a couple days back, we mentioned that they were going to close for Hurricane Ian. Shout out to everyone in Florida, man. That was crazy. Hope everyone is safe and be safe. But you can go to Disney at least on Friday.
That is true. So Tesla was a very, very quick failed break. It got to 265.78. I had a 90 short. It immediately snapped back up. There was a big offer sitting at 10s, which made it really easy. So when it snapped back up, I just got out when it took out that 10, and now it didn't get to 269. Now you're at 266.70. So a bit of a relief rally there in Tesla as it made a pretty solid bottom. That's the kind of thing that could give you a bit of a bounce. And guess where we are in the NASDAQ? We're right at 11,100 actually, bouncing off some of those lows. So you have a bit of a chance that you could have made a little bit of a bottom. All I have is Snapchat. I mean, I'm long at ones. It's at ones by twos. I'm going to be littered on that offer. But Tesla ends up holding that support. I didn't want the long before. Now I'm going to take a shot. That looks like a wick off bottom to me. It's hard to see because my executions are down there, but it's a wick bottom through 266.
Yeah, I sort of got nervous there. Again, obviously nothing about the Disney report. I hear that kind of stuff. I want to go over there and short it because, I mean, the market's not, Disney's not going to bump up because they're open a day earlier or anything like that. I mean, sure, it's a lot of revenue. I get it. But the way this market is, no. But we got out there. I just thought I might have missed the bottom for Meta. I don't think we have, but I did take another piece out right there. We are now in that 10% left. So, you know, what was a great trade? When this came down and we were able to get this out, remember, like, because we was not really expecting that kind of a fill. Our out was going to be 137, so 20 cents worth of an out. So when it comes back in and I can blink and I'm in the money 30 cents when my risk is only 20, I'm going to empty out most of that. So, you know, the clip, although still, you know, you don't want to play Russian roulette because there's still some bullets in there, but here's a nice little move back to the backside there. You all right, Brendo, over there? A little joke coming out here.
What?
You never want to trade high, but those fumes are quite nice there over there from the
I'm
paint,
enjoying it myself.
right now.
It's not even vaguely like that we're getting stoned with before.
What the hell?
What the hell? There it is. Yeah, that was pretty cool there. Show it. Can you aim down? No, you cannot on that camera. Lucas going to get these guys off, man. Right now, you guys are actually on because you're in front. There it is. So this is what they're doing. They're painting. Hey, guys, here's us here. This is tripping everybody out. Hey, Mark. There it is. Yeah, that's actually what they're painting. That's the kind of green screen and the little technology that we do have. So thanks to Lucas for showing that. And again, these two guys, man, I mean, like we get to sit here and do this. They're the ones putting in the work.
You know what's crazy?
So thank you to both Rob and Mark.
I would swear, like 20 minutes ago, I was talking, and I swore I felt something hit my head. And the first thought was, man, did they just flick paint on my head?
Was it paint? No.
No, but something fell from, I don't know, whatever, man.
I don't see anything.
If you guys,
I see some grays.
If you guys saw me do this, like I'm telling you, like I felt something hit my head, and I'm thinking, like, Rob, man, you better not be flicking paint on me. I know, he obviously did it, but.
Have you ever seen, can't see that on
Can't see that on TV. That was a classic.
I'm not doing a drip.
You know what I
Nobody's
used to
gonna know.
watch? Unsolved Mysteries.
That's
another
old school.
real
Robert
school.
Stack.
Robert Stack.
Yeah, that was
Great show.
awesome. They did. I think they might have brought that back for like a reboot a little bit, but I don't. They did.
Amazon Prime, I think, has it.
Yo, what's up, growth manager? How you doing?
Good.
Oh man, the reason why I keep saying that is I keep thinking we need to get a better title for that. I don't know, just my mind. I'm just an idiot. But okay, let's move on. That's the thing. We have such a great work environment here. Honestly, I mean, ooh, yeah. Well, I guess depends on what shoe you're on.
They didn't hear that,
right now. Yeah, and I guess amen. To each their own.
Wow.
To each their own. Oh God, here we go. Rob, keep it down over there. You don't want that to get heard. You know what I'm saying?
Some people are saying there's better shows out there, like Murder, She Wrote was better from
Yes.
Sosa.
Murder, She Wrote is fake. Unsolved Mysteries.
Columbo was like, if you want a crime show, you want an old school crime show, go watch Columbo. Like, Columbo was the man.
He was big time.
Come on, son. So a bit of a bounce in Snapchat. So I'm going to take advantage of it because, quite frankly, if you're trying to lose 1 or 2 cents, and when it gets to 2 to 1, you just try to make more. Andy Griffith.
I mean,
that's
my
a
mom
great
used
show
to watch.
as well.
I used to come home from lunch and watch that, man.
There's
What
so
was
many,
the little guy? He had
so many
his
out there.
friend. What was his name? Andy Griffith, and there was
Oh, you're
the
killing me.
skinny guy there, small guy. Anyways, okay.
It'll come to me.
A lot of fun there.
I know,
Let's just go. You know what I used to really like at lunchtime was no whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Stop. Press your luck. But now that I'm older and I watch that show's ridiculous. The new one is just, because you just keep, on the new one, I don't know if this is the way it was in the old one, but the new one, you just keep going and going and going. And then it's like the last one, the screen is so huge, you can get like 100K just by, anyways.
Yeah.
I digress.
No, you're right.
But yeah, I still think Price is Right is pretty classic. So that's one of my favorites.
I remember
of all
those
time. And
days.
then
We used to
Jeopardy.
watch that on the floor.
Of course, Jeopardy. I mean, Alex Trebek, Canadian. What's up to Canada again? We're everywhere.
True story. Team PJ is like Inspector Gadget. I am not making this up. The new Inspector Gadget, like the new reboot of Inspector Gadget, my brother was a lead animator on it. You can check the credits. You'll probably
Is that
find his
still-
name
are they
somewhere.
still doing that?
So he's at another company now.
Oh, okay,
but,
okay.
The old company he worked at. They did that show, which is pretty cool. It's not often. It's not often I can watch a show with my daughter and be like, hey, there's your uncle, man. He worked on this. And then all of a sudden she's like, now he's cooler than you, Dad. So it's
Wow.
true. It's true, man. But look, we got that wick off bottom on Tesla, and I said to myself, I want to go long in front of that low. It's trying to put in a higher low at this 267. We start holding this bid, and I apologize for the wicks. It's going to make it seem like it's not moving. If we start holding this bid, I might take a shot at 67s for any kind of a relief and maybe give it a little bit of room. I don't want to give it all the way back. Give it a little bit of room. I still want 66 ideally, but there is a buyer at 67 here that doesn't want to see it go. So if it holds above there, maybe takes out the quarter, which it's now not doing, then I would have gone in. Now I can just sort of wait for that 66. Otherwise, it's just Snapchat. The breaks to the downside aren't happening. Apple doesn't want to go to that 42 level. So all I got is snapped long, which is working. And I was just asked about, was Micron, do I want to short MU? That's NASDAQ.
This might be a long, man.
This is what I was getting at. Someone asked if I wanted to short MU. I'm like, not this thing. It's like it's got earnings. It's put in a pretty solid double bottom. If anything, Micron right now is setting up for a long. Like consolidation higher, the market's at the lows and bouncing, and you're breaking out of the tops on Micron. Like this looks more like a long to me. So I definitely wouldn't short it. Maybe if it gets to 50, 51, but it breaks out from here at like 75. I see a long setting up on Micron more than anything else, especially with these bottoms being put in.
All right, so we are reloaded right now. I don't know if it's going to be this or not, but let's give it one more try here to make some money on the short. We do have another reload position here on Softy. It goes right into where we wanted to, so much like Meta, we wait for our price, and there it is right there. I mean, we just got short again, 66. I just took it out at 50, so a quick 16-cent scalp there for Microsoft. We want more on this, but now we do have a decent size, so we can, absorb a little bit of this by getting out. So here it comes. Let's put another out. What is that, 20? We just ticked down here. That's 30. Let's put a bid at 30. I mean, here, wow. I'm just going to put a bid at 42. Forget about this. We just got short there. And again, this is like what we're doing, man. Welcome to the jungle. We've got fun and games around here, and especially if you like chicken, because there's another chicken dinner dinner winner, sponsored by absolutely nobody. So if you do have a chicken business and you want to sponsor some chicken dinner winners, come through there because there's another one for you live right there on the show. We just went short 66 and got out 42. I mean, 20 cents might not seem like a lot for a lot of you, but that's a good little trade. It's actually 25 cents to take that. Now let's wait to see if we get another bid down here at 235.20. All we're trying to do right now is like stack it up, right? I'm actually thinking that we could go for a run now to the upside. So based on that, I don't want to be in Microsoft for too long. I already have the out ready to go. If we break back above this 235.90 right there, that little wick high, we're gone. And I'm not going to average into this anymore. So I'm going to adjust my edit my order, because if it takes it out, I don't want any part of it. So we're going to get out if that does break. We're going to go down in shares here and then see if Microsoft wants to throw up all over itself into the close. I'm actually not going to bid anything until 235 right now, because if I get out and then the market tanks and I don't have anything, I won't be super happy. But right now we do have $1 in the money on Meta. And then the Apple long that I like, cancel that. I mean, I thought maybe the market wanted to go there. I mean, I was going to take this long. All these wicks that keep on happening, I just wanted an official break of that, then to go up here and take like a 70 long right there on Apple. So, you know, if that can come through, then I think I'll test it and give it back to like maybe 50s there, give it 50 or 60 cents of room. But yeah, it's going absolutely the other way. And you know, I know Sharif said this on his show, but oops, we did it again. Another move down to the downside here for the market, man. Brittany, baby, give me one more chance to short this market, because it's coming through again.
There's all these crazy wicks on NVIDIA. So someone asked in the chat about the semis, and I was sort of saying Micron is relatively strong. Well, NVIDIA's not. It's down 5%, obviously. But this previous low that it got to, it's like 120.5. It's now going sideways. Trust me, there's none of these prints up here. They're just dark pools. It's now going sideways. So I think we're at decision point. The NASDAQ's in a 50-point range. So if it breaks to the upside, I told you I like Micron to break up and try to get that long. If we break down, I like relative weakness of NVIDIA. I'll take some in front of 120, then in 119.5. Snapchat's a very different type of trade. Understand that's just that even dollar. Tesla, I still like the fact that it put in a wick bottom, and I'm looking for a long on Tesla, but it either has to be off the low or breaking out here, and it cannot seem to hold the bid above 267. So I'm kind of looking at 267.25. Take that, give it to the recent bottom. And all of these have these crazy wicks. I kind of really can't do much about the scaling of my charts. So I'm out of NVIDIA, but I'm not into Micron as I'm 5 cents away. And I'm looking for some longs in Tesla. It does feel like we're making a bit of a bottom here. So any short I take, I want a little bit of a tight stop. And I still have Intel from earlier. I'm giving that to 50. And I'm only reloading at 50s if I can get that on Intel. But this market does feel like it wants to go for a bit of a run into the close.
Yep, I agree 100%. So that's what I'm going to be doing. There goes Microsoft. We're out of that one. So we'll go, whoa, 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 whoa. It's getting excited. Back up to that upside. I am going to look at that Apple long if it takes that down. So I will take a look at that, and we will punch into that long if it does come through. We have a very small position left on Meta, but that's taking off. I just put a bid down here at 135.60 because, again, I'm thinking that we're going to go for a run into the close. If you're short, you got to cover. And I mean, you know, like I said, I've seen this before. We've all seen this before. And maybe this is just a bump back up. I mean, let's look here again at this NASDAQ. You're right at that level that I said, you know, is kind of that one that we need to break, right? So I was kind of mocking this level, 11,160, but that's just where we went up to again and stopped again right there. So, you know, maybe there is something to be said about looking a little bit at these random levels, but I want to go long. These markets are going to have to break. Can we go long on something else that's relatively strong? My Starbucks trade today was really disgusting because we were long early, took profits. It was good, man. We're not that down on Starbucks because we were able to take profits, but look what happened. As soon as it broke 86, I got out. Oh yeah, and then it ripped $1.30. So like our day would be infinitely better if, of course, if and buts, right? Candy and nuts, doesn't matter. I don't have it. But, you know, it went right back there into the high of the day again for Starbucks and then fell off. So right now, like I'm thinking if we take that 200 period, you know, this is a name that we know is strong. It's only down that 1.8%, 1.08%. So let's look to take a Starbucks long here, maybe 86.30 right there on National Coffee Day. I mean, a long on Starbucks can't be wrong, can it?
I had an extra coffee.
I just reheated my coffee too.
I don't usually drink coffee in the afternoon. However, I had a very fun evening last night, and it was at the Jays game, watching Aaron Judge tie the record. He didn't set the American League home run record, but he tied it. It was fantastic. Crowd was great. I did grab that Tesla long just to get back to trading for a second. It immediately goes to 68, so able to take some out there as we're trying to balance upside. I said if we went up, I would get into some Micron. That just broke out, so I'm into Micron. I'll buy dips in this. It looks pretty strong. Going into earnings, we're flat at the end of the day, so obviously I'm not holding anything for earnings. That should go without saying. And then Snapchat. This is a very different style of trade. It's going to get the benefit of the fact the market bounced here, but that's as simple as it went down to $10, got some 01s. I got some at 02 first, then I got 01s. I said we'd be getting out all the way up to 10.10. If it breaks that, 10.15 would be fantastic. So Snapchat continuing to roll back into the upside. I'll hit a slap shot for that one as we're getting into hockey season. So I didn't really see how I know we beat Montreal. That was one of the preseason games the Leafs had. Hopefully they do well. It'd be nice. I think we had Austin Matthews throwing out the first pitch. Everybody loves them. It feels like the longs are in. I'm kind of second guessing. I just said to you guys that I would reload Intel. Like Intel gets up to 2650, I'll just go back to the well. I don't know about that anymore. I feel like if we are getting a bit of a relief rally, there's no need to fight it. Like I don't need to come back to that price just because it was good earlier. I might just slap the trail if it takes out like 35s, get out of this thing, put a bid down at the lows. I was in front of 26 even thinking we'd see that price. I might just bid in front of the low of the day. If we get a relief rally, I kind of like that risk to reward a little bit better off these bottoms.
So it's 3:15. I mean, there's still so much time left. I almost wish. I mean, I don't wish that there was less time. I mean, the more time the markets are open, the better it is for all of us. So we'll wait for that. As I just, this rebound here. I just say that because, I wish we were a little closer to those imbalances, but just to see what they come out as. It's only 3:15 right now. Apple's getting real spicy. One more penny, and I'm into Starbucks. Got to break 25, and we'll go long through Starbucks there, breaking this level right there. It's like 25, 27. Normally if you zoom in here on Starbucks, normally I'd wait for this. That's like but I just feel like I don't, why give up 5 cents? That high is 31.32. So, if it breaks right now, I just need to, where's my order? My order did not fire long. Okay. It did fire long, but I only crossed up 2 pennies. Okay, I got to get Starbucks again. Here comes Apple. We're about to punch long onto that one. Missed the Starbucks trade. Got to get back into that one.
Real traders get fills without orders.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a joke that we used to say on the floor. It's like real traders don't need charts. Just all kinds of ridiculous sayings out of bravado. But of course, you don't actually get filled unless you put an order, and you don't get paid until you get a fill to get out of a trade. You can be in the money all you want, but believe it or not, you actually have to cover the trade. So I've just gone ahead and done that. It is the first. I'm using all the sports ones right now because I just feel like it. That's for Fahad, who is a very busy man today. He hasn't switched today, but he's doing some other work for us. But Micron
Fahad ain't even in the building.
Got the breakout at 75, got some out 85, 95. If 50 does break, the high is at 50.20. So Tesla now $1 was $1.50 in the money. Second ago now $1 in the money. But Micron going as well. Obviously, Snapchat's going to look pretty good. Just double check if you're watching Apple. Oh, you're in Apple. That's fine. You don't need to go to that one. I thought maybe we weren't in Apple. And Meta is the other one making a move. And we always talk about the big caps. Come on, load up here. Everything has got a solid bounce. Like Amazon just bounced $1 here. So this is a pretty wide, broad rally, let's say. Pretty much everything getting off these lows. Almost doesn't matter what you have. But we've broken that little bottom channel in the NASDAQ. But in perspective, we haven't gone that far, right? So if you go another, let's say 50 to 100 points, that's not even much. I think you need to see like 112.5 on the NASDAQ before you get into any serious resistance. That doesn't mean I'm holding these. I'm getting out of anything, all of these in front of VWAP, because I don't think we're taking VWAP today. Brendo?
This is a daily occurrence at this point. Here's SOBR trying to go here, just taking out day highs on decent volume after it did almost the exact same thing about this time yesterday, guys. So sober on the move.
Yeah, we like that story.
Yeah,
but I never trade the stock. That's the weird thing.
This is a little sobering here on our Apple position because it's not going up. So we're gonna have to get out. We tried to take that long there for Apple. We didn't try it. We do have it right now. So if it does bounce back up a little bit, remember what I said about breakouts. There's only so much patience I have for them. Because A, I lose my patience because of my kids, and then B, okay, here we go. So I just wanted to get out there a little bit at 68 for a 5-cent hit because it didn't go. And honestly, I just put my stop order down here around 40s or 50s. So I just feel like I don't need to be in this. If it's not going to work, it's flat out not going to work, and I'm fine with that. It's just, you don't want to like make the money back or, we all look at our nets no matter what. I know it's not a great thing to do is like focus on your net, but at the same time, like I said, going long into a market that is getting crushed today, it seems so silly to give anything back, which I'll probably do at some point here today. But let's just see if Apple wants to go. We're long on this name. Again, if we break too much below that 50 level, then I'm going to have to sell. So that's what I'm doing. 140, 150. We could take a 30-cent hit at most here on Apple. It's flat. Like I'm talking like this trade's in trouble. It's flat right now. But just, I got to have that plan in the back of my mind so that I can understand the risk. And that's what I'm going to do. 140, 150, going to get it out. So that's 20 cents worth of risk to the downside, which means we need to take some kind of profit. So if this ever goes 20 cents in the money, we'll have some profits.
Yeah, so I was going to I'll do this first because we'll celebrate the fact. So I got more out at 10s on Snapchat. That's working. Tesla's working. Micron's working to the upside. I'll get out of Intel. It's almost at break even. The last short I have. However, you just said something like you don't want to sit there trying to catch a falling knife or whatever it might be. And I've told you guys on the side, like I will trade some of these like spread trading, leverage buyout kind of things here. And the notion of do not try to fight something, I'm going to show you like a stock that has 20, 30 cent ranges. And this was yesterday's range, a 31.50 bottom into 31.90. At the open, it gaps down into that support and then immediately breaks it. Now you will not see a single short sell for me here today, right? So this is me almost like telling everybody how incredibly bad. I've done this trade, this kind of style for like 20 years now. But even no matter how long you've done it or knowing what you should do, you still fall into these traps. And the only thing you can do when it happens to you, where you're just fighting the stock over and over again, is acknowledge the fact that you done screwed up, that you were wrong, and that you have to try to be better. It's not that you will ever stop making mistakes. It's about the fact that you want to reduce them as close to zero as possible. There's no such thing as 100% or I'm never going to do that again. No, that doesn't happen. We're human beings, right? So you're going to fight something thinking you're right and the stock is wrong. It's just that simple. But you have to be able to go over and say, hey, I screwed up. This is it. I got smoked on that stock today, just so you guys know. Trust me, it absolutely sucked. And I spent most of the show being like, this is hilarious. Like everything else was finding bids, and this couldn't. As I say that, Intel is finding a bit of a bid. I said if most of these stocks got to VWAP, I'm going to try to get out of them. Any of the ones that are weak, NVIDIA is above VWAP. But if they got to VWAP, I want to get out. If this breaks VWAP, I want to get out of Intel. It hasn't done so yet, so I'm giving it a chance to get down to the bottom. But if we break out here, I don't want to be holding on to this bag if the market wants to continue this potential rally. So I'm going to go throw my trail, get out of that one if it goes. Relative strength is over here in Micron. However, I'm out of dodge if it gets to the high of the day. That's 50.25. I'm going to pop an offer in front of it. It looked like a long to me because it double bottomed when the market was at the lows. It's breaking VWAP. That's relative strength. I'd rather go long relative strength than fight something which, well, I showed you I would fight something that's weak, but that's a mistake. Go long in something that is strong if you can. Sometimes you get a good entry on the bottoms. Other times you can let a stock show you that it's strong and just take the breakout as it's going higher.
All right, so yeah, and I'm trying to do the same kind of strategies here with Apple. Apple just went into the 80s and it just wasn't going, and then of course, I look at this and say 142, that's the 50 period, or sorry, the 200 period right now. Possibly some resistance spots here for Apple, but again, it did pop up and a little bit of a saving grace there. Some of these outs, 83, 84 right there. We just took a 73 out, which is flat for us. We have now about 65% or so of this position left on board here for Apple. So it's It sucks because it's out of the money 5 cents, but you know, Apple's $141 stock with a range today of 147 open, 140 bottom, a $7 range. So if we're going to be out of the money 5 cents here, it is not a crimey river kind of situation. But we are waiting for here Starbucks. We took that break. We got out there when it ripped all the way up. That was actually an accident. I got out of more shares than I wanted to. So we reloaded that. So we did take a quick, stupid, who cares? It was like 8-cent winner, nothing to do with anything. But we are back in now at 30. Wish we would have had a little bit of a better price, of course, on Starbucks, because it did go down here to 14s. I'm sitting, and I've been sitting here, it just didn't fill me, down here at 11. So we'll take a little average price on Starbucks back at 11. And the reason why we're looking at that name is because initially we were long. We'll lose on this trade because it breaks 86. But look what happens when it breaks 86. It wicks that bottom. And I'm surprised it just broke and I left it. And I didn't look at that, because if I had noticed that wick bottom, I might have tried to get long again around here just to see about that. But there's the nice move right back into the high of the day. So if we are going to be right, which we're not, because there goes Apple just went to the downside, and we got, I mean, whatever, to lose a little bit on Apple, obviously it sucks. It just broke through 50, comes back a little bit. We're holding on to a small piece, but I'm going to cancel the rest of that. I don't think it's going to work. A little bit of a hit there on Apple. But I think if we are going to absorb a long here, Starbucks to me makes more sense than doing it on Apple. So let's focus on that now, see if it wants to go back up to the upside. But yeah, Apple again takes down that 140, 150, and that sucks, man. We tried the long, I liked it. Small hit, but a hit nevertheless.
Yeah, and speaking of, well, it's not a hit, but it is a trail out, because Tesla got to, and I actually tried to get rid of this wick. I'm not going to do it again because my chart crashed. So 269 was that previous low. Remember I said I was looking for that as resistance? I end up slapping a trail the second it tries to break that level, because I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. If you break through that previous bottom and start running from where we had the last long, then I think you can get to VWAP. But if it fails that breakout, then I want to be able to get out. Like, that was that decision point at 269. Tesla's rolling over. I still have Micron, but even that, like, look what just, come on. Even that just got back to 50, wicked back downside, already almost at break even here. Now, because it's relatively strong, this is off the lows. I know it has earnings, but it's off those lows. I want to give it some kind of a chance. I will try to reload this if we can go sideways and consolidate either VWAP or hold support at 60s. I think it's worth it here on Micron, not necessarily Tesla. You know, I think we just got our chance at a bit of a bounce. And you know, if you took it, great. I'd be very careful what I want to reload on. That includes Snapchat. If we see 10 again, I am not going long on 10. Like, how many times is it going to test it? I think if we see it again, it's breaking $10, quite frankly. Hopefully it's before, you know, like 350 or so, and I might be able to take that trade. We could take the trade anytime before 4 o'clock. It's just, I don't like breakouts or breakdowns in the final 10 minutes of the day, because I've seen it way too many times where your follow through is at 4 o'clock or after 4 o'clock. And if you're not able to trade past them, we're not supposed to, then I don't want to enter after 350, buying the highs or selling the lows.
All right, Apple, we're out of Apple. Apple just continued to go down. We got out of that 140, 150 break. But you know what? I mean, you know, Meta just went down to 136 again. So I'm going to have to get a piece out if it does happen again, man. We're in the money 70 cents on that. Like, I can't take a bath on the long and then not capture some of the short profit when the same tank happens. So we're going to watch out for that. Yeah, speaking of hits the 420 graphic. You want the 420 graphic, Tyler? All right, you can get the 420 graphic. Actually, I don't, did you just hit that? There it is right there.
Oh, there it is.
I like that one, and then I also like
I don't even have
that one as well. Lucas on the game over there. So thanks, Lucas, for that one.
Always.
Okay, here we go. Meta just came back in. I'm waiting at 136.04. Huh? That's a little strange. I don't even know why I did that. I'm going to cancel that one and put it right here. Why not? At 12s. We'll see. There we go. There it is. Yes, sir. So we'll slap a big fail on Meta today as, yeah, it's failing off these shorts. Should have reloaded it there, but again, we were long Apple. We thought the market might go for a jaunt. Did not. Yeah, now we just sit in that trade here and wait for a little bit of a shorter short there for Meta. All right, Peloton again. Beautiful bounce off that bottom there. So this is basically when I was talking, it has nothing to do with me, but we should have gone long there when I was talking about some of the valuations and then Nike reporting and just, you know, some of the negativity around Peloton there. Today, down 15%, like, just nasty, man. I mean, down to $7 right now, Peloton. This was 210 $10 or something. I don't know what the 52-week high is, but again, still getting beat down pretty good here. Peloton, you're seeing the 50 period and the 200 period starting to merge here on the 1 minute chart. So I think if you can break anywhere near this 696 downside, something like that, even a 7 break and use a 705 as a top. I just, as the market's crashing basically, Peloton's holding up, so probably not a great name to short there, but if you did do it against that 704, it might be a good idea. But hey, if the market's going down and Peloton's going up, then why not flip the script and just go long on Peloton right now? So, there are some ideas there. I'm not doing it, but I don't know if that makes any sense.
I actually just wanted to say that.
Yeah, good one. Good, well timed for sure on that, because when you said that, I was like, yeah, what exactly am I saying right now? Let's go to the long side here. Maybe this market goes for a run now, but Peloton trying to absorb. I mean, there it is, man. It just went up a penny. So we'll see what happens here with Peloton as it's trying to make that move back to the upside. And
I really almost don't like these reloads, so I'm second guessing Micron whether I want it to come back in at VWAP, but I wanted to point this one out. I see, and I'm checking with Brendan because someone in the chat was like, yeah, don't forget CCL reports tomorrow morning. And I saw that at NASDAQ as well, and sort of, I think it's tomorrow morning. Brendan's saying he sees both tonight and tomorrow morning. So either way, yeah, Carnival, that $9 level, every even dollar on Carnival has been interesting, to be honest with you, the 50 period as well. But Carnival is one that we got to pay attention to. 7.5% to the downside. We cannot sleep on these names. This has been a great trading vehicle. No, I like the $10 level, but probably should not have ignored it here today, because that's exactly what it failed. It's got some support a little bit lower, but this should be worth watching as well. So thank you guys for pointing that one out. This is why I love this community, because it's like, no one's perfect. Things get past us. We'll forget, this stock's reporting, and you can't catch every single trade. But however, we can crowdsource as much as we can. Thank you guys for that. And no, Team PJ, that was not a Flavor Flav moment. That was a moment in the life of Lil Jon. So that's a Chappelle skit where it's like all Lil Jon says in his songs is like, what?
Goes back and forth. Yeah.
And okay.
What?
So anyway.
What? Yeah,
and if you're too young, I mean, would Pratt know Lil Jon?
Would Pratt know Lil Jon?
I don't know.
Sometimes I'm not sure what to say when you ask me that question, but I would say yes, he knows Lil Jon.
I want to think he would.
He knows Lil Jon. Okay, I want to go for a long here on AMD. So if AMD breaks, we're looking at that right now. It's either a short or, it's right at this 200 period. It's bounced off of it a couple times. Am I just being stubborn, trying to go long? Probably. But again, I'm going to go with the theory here that, and I'm not going to use a lot of shares. I'm just going to go with the theory that we are going to get a little bit of cover coming in here today. So I'm going to go with that. If it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm lowering the shares, half default position on an AMD long, because if we're right, then how much profit are we actually even going to take? How much do we trust the long on this call, right? So I'm going to have to, because I'll be frugal with the out when I'm wrong. So it could be a position that you max load up, but for me, I'm not going to do that. The market doesn't seem to want to go. The high might even be 70, but I'll take it on just a clean break, man. A break of 65, we'll take it. But now that I look at it, it's probably a short. If you just short against that level right now, you're doing yourself a favor as well. So Brendan just came with it tomorrow here. 150 to sell on the imbalance locator. So if you're with us for the first time, or a couple times, 150 is nothing. But the one thing that I am getting a little bit upset about is the like count, and I haven't even looked at the like count yet. So let's have a look, because every time we don't ask, we don't get any results. 700 likes, over 5,000, and by over 5,000, I mean 4,800 people watching. 700 likes. Come on, let's get this going. Then all your longs will come through, or your shorts will come through, whatever side you are on. Remember, it's that whole good feel, right? You hit the like button, the world will come back to you and give you what you want. So there it is right there.
And if you're superstitious, that's 13% of the viewing audience. That's just not a good look. It's not a good number.
Get off that number.
It needs to be like 25% or 30%.
Yeah.
We're going to the upside, guys. It looks like we're headed to VWAP after all, so we're going to continue to get paid out. I'll do this one because we keep hitting these 420 ones. We're going upside. I think we could see VWAP. Now I want to get out in front of these tops. I don't want to reverse into anything. I think like I was looking at some shorts at some of these levels. I don't want to try that. Not going into this imbalance, which is quite frankly a nothing burger. This feels like you're getting the relief rally. So congratulations if you took it. Tesla long worked, Snapchat, AMD, Starbucks, Micron worked. I mean, anything you had off these bottoms is going to be fantastic. Do not forget, some of these have reports after market. I wouldn't be like, I'm long Micron. If you have a long here, or even an AMD, you don't want to be holding this past 4 o'clock, especially the semis. Not to tell anyone what to do, but the price action you're going to see in the aftermarket when these kind of things report is insane, and levels don't really matter when that happens. So we have to be flat at the end of the day. I would suggest, especially on the semis, that unless it's your plan of action, you want to get out of Dodge. Take advantage of these moves. These are all still down on the session. I'm now out because I wanted out in front of the high of the day on Micron, and it just got back to 50 even, so I'll take that shot all day long. Snapchat, I'll hold out for a few more shekels if it wants to go. And I don't know if we look back over at Tesla. I feel like I got out of Tesla at the right spot. Even though the market just got back to the high, Tesla's pretty much exactly where I got out of it at 69. So that 67 breakout really only gave you $2. That's all we captured, and there wasn't really more to be had with Tesla. Not bouncing quite as nicely as everything else. It's down 7%, man. 7%.
Unbelievable. What a good trade there on the long. We talked about that, so we'll go yeah for that and hit this as we go. There goes AMD. Woo. Your boy just does not have as many shares. Remember, I said I did half the default. So, hey, great call. Happy with this. Up 17 cents. Didn't see the light of day as it's starting to go back up to the upside. That is your friend and mine, Advanced Micro Devices, with a nice little long there, breaking that 200 period. I just put this 200 period on the charts a couple months ago. And if you guys want to follow that, you are more than welcome to do that. But there's the break. I was questioning it myself. You guys know that. I would have loved to have not questioned it, because then I would have used more shares and then it would be double the win right now, but that's okay because it could also be double the loser. So let's take another piece out at 80 right there before we're wrong. I am waiting at 63.87 right now, and we'll also go hells to the yeah about this one, because Starbucks, we did get, I mean, it blew past. Our best out there is 51. We've gotten a little bit more out here on the downside as the market's now pulling back in. This is what I'm talking about. Like, if you don't, like, I'm even going to take some more profit right now on AMD, and now we're done. Now I'm going to wait for AMD to get back up here into these 90s. Then we'll take a fill if it does rip up there. But I'm pretty happy just resting on these trades now. We do have our target outs if we're wrong, so happy with everything. Starbucks is there. Meta's still here as well. Yo, what's up, Meta? That didn't really go for too much of a run. It did make that bottom again at 136. Maybe we just get out. I mean, we don't have, again, I have 10% of this trade. I mean, I'm way longer right now in AMD, which right now is let's go. This is what we're here for. I don't even know what to hit. I don't want to hit this one because it's not really marking up. I more want to hit this one. Ding. Boom. That's what happens, man. We take the trades and it's reward time as there goes AMD. Your boy has this one. I hope you do as well. A nice move back up to the upside here, right into this level, $64 for AMD. That was a good long call. At me for that one. Let's go. Good trade on that for me. Let's see what happens now with AMD. Probably get another piece out here at 64 because that's been the high. Next level after that, 64.20.
So I love it. Someone's saying in the chat there that we should just get that is one of our emojis, Little John, the yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. I don't mind. I don't think you're breaking a copyright. I know it's a Chappelle joke, but everybody does it. So SNTI, this was this morning. I had a short on here. It worked. A second short did not, so kind of went 1 for 2. Late boomer to the upside here. I mean, everything's going to the upside. It doesn't matter what you got. This is also going. That was a 15, but watch out. This is a big level on the daily, that 250. So always want to get yourself paid out when you hit these bag holding levels, and that's a pretty big one. To choose through that, it can get to $3 to be sure, but already turning around and slowing down on volume in front of that 250 level. So SNTI, good break. I think it's just sort of like upward movement in the market. I forgot to mention this, but I said I had a trailing stop on Bed Bath & Beyond, but I didn't show you that I did in fact get out when it broke $6. So that's also bouncing. A rising tide lifts all ships, including the ones that were previously sinking to the bottom of the ocean. So I'm out of that Bed Bath & Beyond. It was a good short, but ultimately everything is now bouncing to the upside. I need to get out of Snapchat We got about 10 minutes till the imbalances do come. My next offer is not till, I'm going to get on the offer at 15 here. There seems to be some, a seller here twice now at this 10-15 level, so I'll try to take some out there at that 15, just hop on the offer. Hold the rest for 20s and the imbalances as well. Brendo.
Ongoing, guys. We've looked at this before. OCUL, big pop here on volume. Looks like some trial data has either been leaked or released early for one of their upcoming trials. So this is a obviously ocular-focused treatment company. So just took out day highs.
Yeah, that's a big mover. I got to check what the float is on something like that. Like you always want to know, okay, well, how big's the float? Is it shorted? Especially when I look at the liquidity on it, and this is what I mean. If I can come over here, I don't know why that doesn't automatically always link for me, but look, it's a $4 stock doing 1.5 million. Not a 1 cent spread, and not a ton of size. Like, look at the prints, the chunk prints coming off in the dark. There's your thousands and your 3,000s, but there's no liquidity on that level too, which usually tells me you're probably dealing with a relatively low float. So I wouldn't necessarily jump into this one at some of those highs, nor would I want to trade it blind. So it doesn't look like something that I'm accustomed to watching in a small cap. So I'm not going to pay for short to take a shot at it at 340, but I do want to check out the short float and, of course, how big the float is in general. I did get that fill on Snapchat, so that looks like it's going to be good to go. I had mentioned Roblox and that 3640 potential, 3540 potential breakdown. Obviously, with the market bouncing, I've canceled any breakdown shorts off of the lows. Now this chart doesn't want to load. My 15 going to load here? Yeah, my 15 is okay. So obviously we're not going to get that breakdown. I've canceled it now, but it is worth mentioning in all of that rally in the market, Roblox barely went anywhere. So I do like this trade for tomorrow. It gets beneath here, it breaks 35, and then we get a free fall Friday. Roblox is on my radar because when the market rallied here at the end of the day, got off those lows, Roblox barely went anywhere. That's a sign of weakness. That sets it up for this floor to break tomorrow. So on a down day tomorrow, I'm looking for breakdowns. Roblox 3540 is going to be one of them. If it gaps below, then 35 is valid as well. But this went nowhere off those bottoms.
All right, back-to-back jacks, man, as if we were Aaron Judge here today. Starbucks, boom to the upside. That's 40 cents now. AMD is officially 40 cents now in the money as that continues to rip higher and higher and higher. So, yeah, man, we're hitting those home runs back, forth, and right again here today. So maybe let's take I can wait. Let's take, whatever, I'll take an 03 out there. Let's just wait now for AMD. I do have an offer up here at 20, right into that level. So maybe that hits, maybe it doesn't, but that's sort of where I'm looking for now with AMD. But just FYI, we have about 20% left of our position. To be honest with you, when we got into that area there and the market just screamed for us on that break, I told you, if the market goes and we get a break, that's where, we get excited, we get out, especially if it's breaking in the opposite way. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point. If we're breaking into the short and you have like this AMD short here that we took, like it breaks the pre-market bottom, you have a lot of room to go, especially, you can't predict this kind of a day. But remember when we were down 3.7, 3.8%, I just kept fighting the longs over and over again. Like, look at this long that I fought with Apple, right? Like, we fought that. It went up, but I was like, there has to be a buy here today. Apple did get that buy. It actually didn't even go that far. So Apple's still pretty weak here today. That was we lost on that, but we make it all back plus more on some of these other trades here. But now heading into the close with only 7-8 minutes left before the imbalances, then yeah, Brendan just updated it actually right on cue there as I scroll down in our chat, 140 million to sell. So it's not like it's rocket science now here to sell on that one. So the Porsche IPO.
That's an update? Oh, I thought it was.
No, I just want to see what the Porsche IPO wind up doing here today. Just to give people an idea. Okay, so it didn't really do much. I'll pull this chart down so you can see it. Here's the Porsche IPO. Ends the day at 82.50 after starting the day at 85.50, it looks like right there. So 85.50 or so. $86 IPO for Porsche. Down there today to 82.50, and the percentage down is 1.8%. So
it's what's worth mentioning for that one is that
the cool
it was that holding company. I forget the name of the holding company, but they had to buy 25% of it after it opened up. So there was kind of like a weird floor on the stock today where you knew there would be some buyers guaranteed. And I'm not saying that's what held it up, but I mean, come on, like everything else was down. Like Stellantis was down 5%. Like every EV got crushed today, and Porsche IPO I think held up well because of that weird structure. So close to VWAP, but not quite there. So we had about 15 minutes left here. I'm going to slap a trail at 10.10 on Snap just to be able to try to hold out for that last little kernel of upside potential. But it looks like we are going to get a bit of a turnaround there overall. I think I got the right place to get out of Micron. It just rejected again. This is now the second time where it's kind of got that 50, big rejection. It got that 50, big rejection. I just didn't want to be sitting in it when it did that. Intel, I think there's a decent chance, like tomorrow on earnings, I might trade at least as much Intel as I do on Micron, just because Intel's been so much more clean on red day. So if it's bad for Micron, I might just go over to Intel. And this 2650 has been a fantastic level because it's been holding all day long. You got an obvious channel down here, and then you got a 26 breakdown. Look at Intel, look at the chart. I mean, ever since it took this floor, like it gapped beneath this 33 level and broke that last consolidation, it has been there's been 2 days where the short has really hurt you. And every other day, if it was bad, it wasn't that bad. You just had to be able to grind with it. It's never going to move at $2 for you. It's not going to happen. It's $26 stock, but you can get those nice, clean consolidations and breakdowns on Intel. This is where I want to go tomorrow for sure off of those earnings that we're going to get from Micron after the bell.
All right, let's go here on all of this, man. I mean, okay, AMD right now did make that move. It only got to 12, so I'm going to wait around halfway through. I don't need to wait for that 20. That's the high there. If AMD can get right back into there, we just punched along through there. So we're long at 63.63. It's in the money about 50 cents well, it was in the money about 50 cents. Now it's in the money 35 cents. Let's take that profit if we can. We do ring the register again on Starbucks. Starbucks, we got some out on VWAP there, very small. We got out much more on a pop to 53 there. So, you know, we're just sort of massaging out of some of these trades now to end the day. We're still holding on to our meta in case we get that collapse. It doesn't seem like it's super strong. It just bounced off the 200 period again. So I'm not super worried about meta. It's kind of like Apple. Like Apple's kind of doing the same thing, although it's now above the 200 period, so maybe Apple's a little stronger there. We've already talked about Starbucks, and then AMD is well above. We took the 200 period break. Here it comes. Let's go. Give us this trade, man. We can get 50 cents on this trade. We'll take it, and then just hold. There it is. Yes, sir, man. Fire it off. Sausage cannon coming right at you right there. But we'll see what happens now as this market. There's that 64.20, so maybe we should have waited a little bit more for that one. But there it is, a nice out for us on AMD. If you're going to take any trade, I mean, so far in the afternoon, we messed up one trade, man. We went long Apple, which if you just held it and didn't get out like I did so fast, you know, you might have been in trouble actually if you got out down there. But that's been a winning trade for us today, just not that one. There's Starbucks right there as well. We took that one for you. That was a nice win, and then of course the AMD trade that we have, and then we've hit Meta a couple times to the short side. This was my biggest profitable trade today, or not today, in this last show here for Meta was that bump there. We got it, we got out. That's about $1 down there. So nice trading on Meta today. I really love that name. It's one of my favorites to trade. Just the volatility, the moves that associated with it. Great, love Meta. With the market today down 4%, market down 3%. That's pretty normal for Meta not to be exactly attached to the market. But again, let's wait to see what happens tomorrow, man. Free fall Friday or not, there's something coming.
There is, and not everything is free falling. ABOS, another one of these. Look, it already made a move yesterday. I think it was yesterday I actually traded it, but my trades aren't showing up for some reason. Not sure why. But $10 break, double top. It is pretty much at yesterday's high, and it just rejected yesterday's high. So be careful chasing this one. It is now 347. I still have that little piece of Snapchat. It continues to go, but this is definitely a solid runner here. And I did screen cap it. I want to say it was I just missed it.
Oh no.
Whoever said it in the chat, they were just like Tesla 180 screen cap this. I'm like, okay, it's been screen capped. So when maybe I'll tweet it out or find the name for you and lock that one in, because Tesla 180, you're not giving a time frame for us out there. So it's like, does it ever hit 180? That's not very close to where we are right now. And that's not split adjusted. That kind of sucks. But Yeah, that would be quite the move if that were to happen before the end of the year. I wouldn't say it's impossible. It is worth remembering when I do go to the non-split adjusted prices. If you look at these bottoms that we did have, like the recent lows, like 620, that corresponds to 207. And do not forget, and this is going way back, like after we had that, since we had that last split, you did have a 540. I mean, a 540 legit bottom, like legit double bottom at 540. So that 180, respect. That's not some garbage level, man. Like that was a big double bottom. It then broke out from, I think it was like 630 or so. That was the run to 800. 666 was a great break as well. I remember those levels. So a shout out to that 180 call. I don't know what your time frame is when you think you can get there, but that it was major support on Tesla because it was $540.
Yeah, okay. That Tesla, crazy name, crazy stock. I mean, I love Tesla, but I was selling that one. We were thinking, I was thinking, I don't know if everybody else thinking the same thing, but that was one of the next ones to drop, right? I've been hitting on Apple, Amazon. We talked about selling Tesla. Was wrong on Netflix, but Tesla definitely right on that one. And I like what you put up there, and I gave that to you there. YAH, what is it? Tube 37, I guess, right there, calling me the AMD assassin. Well, I mean, I love trading AMD, and thank you for that as well. This segment also sponsored to you by True Trading Group. Make sure you guys check them out, but don't check them out until after 4 o'clock because you want to stay with us until then. We are pleased to have their link up there. So True Trading Group, make sure you check them out. Brendan's got something else. What up?
This OCUL just halted upside. Neil, you're wondering about the float. It's actually decent, 75.8 million on the float for this thing, but volatility halt here, guys. Upside for Ocular.
Wow. Let me go, Brendo. Good look. Sometimes it's just like, I don't know. Like I looked at it, I'm like, that doesn't seem as liquid as it should be, and maybe that shouldn't have scared me off of it. But it did, so it is what it is. But great look. Because of it halted at 347. It's a bit touch and go. Usually it's like after 350 for sure. It's not opening until 4 o'clock. I feel like it's in that gray area. I would not surprise me if you didn't see an opening. Like the opening print at this time of day, a lot of times is 4 o'clock, the closing print, and then it trades in the aftermarket. Hopefully that makes any sense. I didn't bungle that too much for you. I'm now out of Snap because I said VWAP, but it's also 350, which means the imbalances just dropped here. So look, it wasn't the gigantic numbers across the board. Let's see if we can get them to you here. But at least the initial look wasn't. But Apple, 2.5 million to buy. Amazon, 1 million to sell, I just saw. General Electric, 880,000. But Apple, buy 2.4 million. That's the big one. I think we don't really care about anything else because I don't recognize BAC's there. Really not much of anything else. Amazon, sorry, 1 million to buy as well. So it looks like we are getting buy imbalances. That should make this rally possibly continue into 143. However, Apple, as you can see here, small move to the upside on that. Not gigantic, but maybe like 30 or 40 cents to the upside on a big buy imbalance for Apple, despite the fact that it's down 5% today.
Yeah. That got me out of Meta. So, I mean, meanwhile, let's go. This has just been a great trading opportunity there. AMD has just been assassinated right there to that upside. And that was a good trade. You know, like I said, I would have loved to have the full default. Should have just trusted my own instinct on that one as well. There goes. I'm taking this opportunity to get out. I mean, it is what it is. This is a big bump up. I wouldn't, like I keep saying over and over again, I don't think these are time to buy these names. I just think it's a nice little rally. You were down 3.5. We just gained 1% in the last hour. So I was talking about, and I said that with experience, I felt like there was a buy coming into this market. It just kind of stopped. Some of the big names kind of stopped moving. So we took advantage of that, man. We hit the Starbucks long, and there it is. We're almost out of everything. And then there's AMD as well. Just hit. I mean, I wasn't expecting that either. I mean, we did talk about 64.20 as being key. It just hit 35 right there. So let's put an offer at 25. Cancel this out, finish our day. What a great day it was. I want to give a big shout out to Playmaker. Thanks so much, man. Sharif is like over the moon on that jersey that you gave him.
That's awesome, man.
He's loving it. I think he's still wearing it right now.
He is. He didn't take it off, man.
Yeah. So shout out to you, Playmaker. Thanks for that. That's really nice. And I mean, I met Playmaker in Miami, and I took some time out of the vacation. I met with him, and it was a fantastic experience. And shout out to you, Playmaker. Thanks for that gift, man. I mean, that's what we're all about here, right? Is sharing with you. You're sharing with us, and it's been fantastic. So thanks for that from Sharif to you, Mr. Playmaker. AMD out. We're done. So cancel all these stop orders now, as we're just ready to rock and roll. It's good because we have 2 fills here on Starbucks. We got one out by accident, and we reloaded it, ripped it to the upside. Another great trade, 30 cents in the money, just to finish it off. I mean, I say great trade. It's not like I'm like, wow, I made such a great trade. It's just that trade worked. And I like when the thought works. Like Starbucks was up today, not up today, but up against the market, right? And it's nice when that starts to happen, because all you're really doing is lining up opportunities for next time. It's like, I didn't trust myself to use full default for some reason on this AMD take. I know why, because the market was getting crushed, but maybe next time we'll do that a little bit more shares, right? So it's just about like, okay, good, that trade was a great trade. Like that's what I'm talking about when I say that. It's not like, oh my God, we made a great trade. It's just like, okay, that was a great trade. It's like when Tesla broke some of those levels, man, you look back, it's like, holy shoot, that was a great trade, right? So there are levels like that you kind of like, you want to make sure that as you're watching and as I'm explaining, my sort of thought process to a lot of you out there, it's like that, now that I'm seeing some of this a little bit clearer, like I've been saying for the last little while, some of these trades just, there are full default positions that you could take even in the middle of the day. So, just be careful. AMD still down 6%. And again, good trade there on AMD and a good trade as well on Starbucks. So let's just wait for it. The market's about to flip again, Neil, because 355 is coming, and that's when you get the market flip. That imbalance was 1.3 billion buy side. I know you talked about that.
It's
with
now
Apple.
Sorry, not Tesla. Apple's now 2.75 million. So it's actually gotten bigger, the Apple imbalance to the buy side, which you don't always see that happen. Now it's starting to pair off. There you go. Actually, in front of 355, it's down to 1.9 million. The thing about Apple, though, it's still at 142. Like, it didn't even budge. It told you it went 40 cents to the upside, and now, bye-bye. It's clearly gone. I don't even see it on the board. Microsoft's now a sell, 600. GE was already there, but Apple, it was 2.5 to 1.9 to, I don't even see it anymore. So no surprise, they're right back down to 142. But I did want to point this out, and thank you guys in the chat for, I always love to see on a day, well, on any day, but on a day like today where the market's down like it is, where's something strong? Well, FedEx broke the high, up 1.4%, and barring something crazy, should close at or near its high of the day. So respect to FDX here. Should be on our radars. Good day for them. No real news that we saw, but strong move nonetheless. We do have some earnings to get to. We talked about a couple of them. Actually, I think we talked about all 3 of the big ones there, Brendo.
Yeah, last day of the month coming tomorrow, last day of the quarter coming tomorrow. That means, guys, we're getting back into earnings reporting season. A couple of weeks still before we really get into the big ones, but here is tomorrow's board.
Yes, sir. And look, there's 3 good names there. Carnival, the one thing I don't like about Carnival earnings, and I remember this, is I feel like it's never a set time that they report. And if memory serves, the last time, it was like we're on at 8:30, and they reported like almost right into the open. It was like 9:10 or 9:15 or something ridiculous.
There must have been something wrong with that. I mean, are they even allowed to do that?
Well,
I don't know.
That's not cool for a trader, because you can't really, like, you're going through your preparation, you have your plans for trades, and then suddenly you get the report dropped on you after 9 o'clock, and it's a little bit tricky to work that one into your plan of action. However, we'll be here, we'll cover it, you know what's going to move. We'll see what happens. All 3 of those, Micron, Nike, Carnival, should be on our radars, but let's not forget about the semis have been great, Tesla's been great, Meta's been great. Got to stick to what works. Make sure you go back to that and check out some, is it Oculus? No, not Oculus, Ocul. I don't know what the heck that company's actual name is, but OCUL, still halted. Looks like it'll open up probably at 4 o'clock. The closing print will be the opening print for this. Up 24%, but a good shout out and a breakout as well as the market broke higher. A couple of small caps. FedEx, good move for them as well. Love to see it. And because I haven't said it yet in the afternoon show, rest in peace, my man Coolio, man. That's the only thing sour about it. Too young, man, too young. And the other thing about Coolio that I forgot to mention is He was one of the people that made that. Remember icing? You ice somebody.
Oh, with the Smirnoffs?
Yeah, like there was a show where somebody did it to him at the show, and that's part of what made it go viral. And I bring that up because we have a friend whose bachelor party turned into, like, it was during the height of icing, so the entire weekend turned into icing people, and it was an interesting weekend. So if you never heard of what it is, it's horrible. Don't drink alcohol, blah, 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 all that good stuff.
Especially that alcohol, man. Those Smirnoff ices are like
disgusting.
Sugar bombs,
Well,
basically.
I shouldn't have said that.
Well, they are pretty disgusting.
I don't like them
they're
at
just
all.
very sweet. That's all. I mean, I think that's people would agree with that. I don't think you're saying anything too
way too
crazy on
sweet.
that one. But yeah, you know, some great tracks, man. I'll be listening to some Coolio. I was actually doing that last night. The wife actually messaged, well, we were together, but she's like, oh my God, Coolio just passed or whatever. I tweeted it out. And then we started to listen to some tracks, some great ones on that for sure. But someone who might be drinking a couple of Smirnoff's Ice, getting ready to ring the bell, as my main man Tony here, getting ready to rock and roll. No Blue Jays tonight, my man. So Tony will be running around no, he won't be running around the streets. I don't know what he's going to be doing tonight. But a big shout out to Tony again. Thanks for always, every day this guy's ringing the bell, man. Thanks for all the nice, man. Hey, what's up, Playmaker? Thanks for that. He has the Bengals tonight. I think that's probably right. I feel like Tua, whether he's concussed or he had that back issue, or either way, man, I think the Dolphins could be in a little bit of trouble tonight. I hope so for the AFC East purposes. You don't want them to go 4-0.
Well, I definitely want Miami to lose.
Right, exactly. So you definitely want Miami to lose for sure. And everyone, thanks to everybody there. God bless you as well. Thank you to everybody that's saying this. This market is a gangster's paradise. You're right, common sensible, as well as we go. Yeah, Prad, that's fine. Prad has Miami, so put a lot on Cincinnati. Okay, let's go. You can see, 59 years old. I know. Oh, that's how old he was, I guess, Coolio right
only
there.
59,
Thank
man.
you to everybody for all your kind words. As we only have 30 seconds to go, we read the chat as much as I can. Now that I'm flat, it's a little easier to do that. Shout out to our bear today that nailed the market early and often here today. Now with only 20 seconds to go, man, not much else to say except for enjoy the night. The wife's already messaged me. She has soup and sandwiches, and then she says, plus football. I like it.
It's a winning
Got to
combination.
take the kids to karate, one to gymnastics, and then it's a football Thursday kind of evening. 2
and 1.
Tony, who's going to win tonight, Miami or Cincinnati? Give us a play here, Tony. Miami or Cincinnati for football? Miami, oh yeah, there it is. Tony, that's a good idea to ask Tony. So there, Prad, now I'm on Miami because there we go. Let's see what that comes through.
Sellout.
I should have asked Tony if he knows what.
You like the Bills too. You don't want.
Of course,
you don't really
we used to
want
have
them to
season
win.
tickets to the Bills. I want the Bills to win. Obviously, I do not want Miami to win. The better question should have been, I should have asked him, does he know the Miami's name? Like, I don't think he knows. It's my daughter's favorite team because of you, Playmaker. We went down, not because of you, but because we went to Miami. Not only that, they're a Dolphin.
Well, see, my daughter, actually, what's weird? My
goes,
daughter's
"No
favorite
Packers."
tethen it's not the Bills, is the Bengals because she's like, she likes the, she just likes the, she actually calls them the bagels. Which,
But then she likes it because of the stripes.
because of the stripes. So,
the bagels? That's a little strange.
I laugh because they're Bengals, not Tigers. And she's like, oh, bagels. I'm like, okay, whatever. You're 5. It's cool.
Yeah,
I love you.
It's cool. Yeah, they can be. And my daughter like rubs it in my face because she's like, oh, I'm not a Packers fan anymore. I'm a Miami. She calls it Miami Dolphins. So
I like
don't
that,
know.
Miami.
Funny. She actually sent me a message last night. Daddy, we got to go back to Miami. I was like, all right, Brendan. How did we wind up, my man?
Let's make it official, guys. Not a pretty board once again today, but let's make it official. 205 for the S&P, 2.82 for the NASDAQ, leading the way, 1.5 for the Dow. Ugly, once again, top to bottom. Hopefully, again, tomorrow's the last day of the quarter. We can end on a positive note, guys. Not, however, going to be a positive month or quarter for anything but the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ could actually still have a positive month, but that's about it.
Are we surprised? September's not usually a good month.
No, we talked about that. The fall is not a good month at all. Get ready, man. Micron and Nike, like any moment now, could come out.
Wait a minute.
I don't know what
Is it out?
Micron is out,
It's got to
I
be
think,
out.
if
It's
you come
down
to my
$3.
chart. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's not good.
Micron right now goes
Oh my God.
A nice little move to the downside here for Micron. That doesn't look very good for them. Let's just see if Nike has come out yet. Again, Brendan may not have the numbers. Nike does not look like it's out, as that is where it closed. But it is the Micron story. We'll have this and many more for you tomorrow. Make sure you check out our watch list, watchlist.tradertv.live. We'll review all the earnings. Don't take what's happening to Micron right now as anything. It'll sort itself out. Yeah. The algos are just in. You know, it could be a good report, could be bad. We'll wait to see tomorrow. But for all of us here at Trader TV Live, a big thanks to the midday show guys, Sharif and Prad. Shout out to Justin, Mark, Lucas, Fahad, Rob, Katrine, who? Randy, yeah, why not? Randy, because he's dandy.
Why not?
I always forgetting somebody, but Liz as well. Shout out to everybody involved with Trader TV Live. Let's get that out of the way. Shout out to Bears versus Bulls. I always forget you, my friend, so shout out to that as well. Brendan, I know the earnings are out or not, but I guess there's not much to report until tomorrow.
I mean, it's a miss. It looks like the forecast is the problem here.
Okay.
But we'll see.
All right, guys, thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow at 8:30. We'll be discussing said forecast with Nike, with Carnival, with Micron. Sleep well if you can, and go Bengals and Dolphins.
Go Bagels.
See you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your bagels with cream cheese. Ciao.
I don't know about cream cheese, but...